On Sports on time now to sit back and enjoy the action. It's Aberdeen against Dundee with Willie Miller, Billy Dodds and Liam McLeod.
Saturday night football here in the Granite City. Aberdeen against Dundee for the second time this campaign. And Dundee looking for a long overdue victory here. They've only won 2 of the last 24 meetings all told. In the battles between the clubs, both of those were at Dens, though they haven't won here at Pittodrie since May 2004. That was 16 visits ago. Milne and Lovell scored the goals as they came from a Richard Foster goal behind to win 2-1 as the two sets of players make their way onto the pitch. Off to our left as we watch from the back of the main stand. And actually, when they won here in 2004, it came during an incredible run of 15 visits here without defeat between 1994 and 2011. But it's all gone horribly wrong in the northeast for Dundee, whose supporters are bunched in the south stand in the away section over there. It's a good contingent come up for this one, the 1 hour journey up the road. And Pittodrie sold out, and it's a 4th successive game that we've been able to say that, and that's pretty incredible. I don't think there's been a point in Aberdeen's modern history when that's happened, and I include Willie and his brilliant side here that lifted all that silverware in the 1980s. I don't think those guys even managed to sell this place out 4 games in succession. But Aberdeen looking to go top of the table tonight, even if it is just till tomorrow when Celtic travel to Kilmarnock, a game which will of course also be live here on Sports Sound. If you missed the teams earlier, then 2 changes for both of them. Mitov in goal for Aberdeen, no Nielsen or McGrath tonight. Devlin, Rubetic, Malloy and McKenzie at the back, Shinnie and Palaversa behind Keskin and Clarkson and Duke, with Sockler up front. And for Dundee, Jordan McGee comes back into the side. Huge boost, of course, got on the score sheet when he came off the bench last week. McCracken in goal, McGee, Astley, Robertson, Larkesh, Mulligan, Sela and Cameron, with Palmer Holden and Adewumi up there with Simon Murray. And it was you heard Tony Docherty there, it was a good performance by Dundee when the sides met. Aberdeen won 2-1, but Dundee's second half performance in particular was of a very high level. Well, they didn't test Mitov enough. Now, as is happening across the weekend, there will be a minute's silence held here. Remembrance Sunday is, of course, tomorrow, where we remember those in the military and civilian servicemen and women in the 2 world wars and later conflicts who lost their lives. Aberdeen saw their unbeaten 16-game start to the season come to an end with last weekend's 6-0 Hampden humbling at the hands of Celtic in the League Cup semi-final. However, they remain undefeated in the Premiership this season, 9 wins and a draw from their 10 games. Their best ever start to a league campaign. Up against a Dundee team, only won 2 of their last 10, but they did pick up the 3 points against Kilmarnock last week as Leighton Clarkson kicks the game off. Aberdeen in the all-red with white flashes going left to right towards the red shed end, the Merkland Road, King Street end of the stadium if you know it. Dundee towards the beach end, the Richard Donald stand with their navy blue shirts, white shorts, white socks with the blue tops. And it's Dundee, despite Aberdeen taking centre, it's Dundee who are in possession here, and Lyle Cameron shuffles it out to Larkesh. Scored that dramatic late winner last week, gets it down the line to Adewumi, but Good challenge in there by Topi Keskinen, who was one of the Aberdeen goal scorers at Dens Park. Gets a couple of nutmegs there, and he's popped it forward to Sockler. Keskinen continuing his run. Sockler wins the throw-in off the former Don Clark Robertson, and it's out for a throw-in to Aberdeen midway inside their own half here. Willie, I don't think you guys did manage 4 successive sellouts despite all that glory that you achieved.
Obviously we weren't exciting enough, Liam.
I'm sure you were.
It's a great, it is a bit, not to say a great start to the season again, or Leanne will be on my case, but no, it's been wonderful from Jimmy Talleen and the players. Some really energetic performances, at times maybe finding a way to win games when they've not been at their best.
One ball forward is headed away by Dundee at the edge of their own penalty area by Astley, then gets a second chance to dump it into the Aberdeen half, where Malloy's header finds Rubidzic, flicks on across the halfway line, and then Cameron is fouled by Shinnie, and Dundee have a free kick on this near side. Billy Dodds, Dundee, they've only won once on the road in the Premiership so far this season. That was at Motherwell, and this is a tough venue for them to try and get that second away victory.
Of course it is, but they're a dangerous opponent. They've got a good healthy crowd up with them. They have a go, and it's the one thing they might just have to watch. They leak goals, don't they? And that's where their problem's been all season. But dangerous opponent for Aberdeen, Liam.
Here comes McGee down the right hand side of the Aberdeen box, looking to get to the byline. He's done really well, gets the cross in, and Mitov has to punch it over. I think he might have swung over the byline before it got to the Aberdeen keeper, so it will be a goal kick in the opening couple of minutes here. But Dundee will look to settle quickly, and they're putting pressure on the Aberdeen defence early on there, but that ball from McGee's cross did swing past the line.
Yeah, it was good though, and it shows you, I was just touching on it, they're going to come here and try and take the game to Aberdeen, try and create chances. They'll not get the possession all of the time, but you can see the way they set up, the way they play under Tony Docherty. Yeah, they lose goals, but they score plenty as well.
Shinnie ushering out to the October Player of the Month, Nicky Devlin. She shuffles it forward there, right hand side of the box for Keskinen. His cross comes in, takes a deflection, flicked away by Astley. Sockler trying to get onto it over on that far side, leaves it for McKenzie, who fires it high over the bar. Duke and Keskinen waiting on the 6-yard line. It's a poor ball across by McKenzie, and it will be a goal kick to Dundee.
Yeah, he's got to show more composure, Jack McKenzie, in that situation. He's a very good season this season, pretty good season last season too, but when he gets into that area, he's got time to actually take it down, take a little touch, maybe pick out one of the players. Sockler was out the box, but had Keskinen at the back post, and Clarkson was going to join him as well.
Markesh finds Adewumi, he's driving out to the left-hand side. Rubidzic has fouled him, and Dundee have a free kick here, just around about the midway point of the Aberdeen half, about 10 yards from this main stand side touchline.
He had a pass on there, Adewumi. He got himself in that pocket where he's playing. He got turned, and Palmer Holden made a lovely run from right to left, and he was through. If he could just see the gap, he could have stuck him through, but didn't get the head up quick enough. Got the free kick, but the chance was also lost.
Markesh and Cameron both over this free kick for Dundee, who are looking to end Aberdeen's unbeaten Premiership record. And Cameron, will he put it in with the right or Larkesh with the left? So Larkesh leaves it for Cameron, bends it in towards the 18-yard line, headed away by Malloy. Keskinen trying to complete the clearance. He's been bundled over illegally at the edge of his own box, and that will be a free kick to the Dons.
I was going to say to you, well, I know we've talked about it pre-match, but I was interested to see their selection choice tonight. I thought they might have changed their winger, even though they've made 2 and 4s, but it's the first time he's had to pick a team after a defeat, and I thought he might have changed one of the wingers. I don't know what you were thinking.
Well, 2 white players didn't do much against Celtic, did they? I thought Duke maybe started well, had a couple of good runs, but didn't really put enough energy into the game, wasn't disciplined enough defensively either, and Keskinen as well, the other side, lacking in ball carrying. None of the 2 of them really carried that ball forward to allow Aberdeen to go up the park last week. So yeah, I think it must have been in his mind. Morris is there, but he's looking at Morris probably as an impact player, and he has done well when he's come off the bench.
Yeah, he's such a weapon, isn't he, against a tiring side. Aberdeen have given it away deep inside their own half. Cameron has it at the edge of the box, looks to shoot. It's a slight challenge from Shinnie. She takes it out to the far side. Devlin's onto it, fires it up the line, but only to Lyle Cameron's benefit. Cameron's ball into the Aberdeen box is only half away. Rubizic almost got caught in a fankle there. Josh Mulligan putting the pressure on. And Aberdeen clear through Devlin up the line. Cameron keeps it in play and rolls it back to Robertson. It's been a really positive start by Dundee. 5.5 goalless minutes in. But Tony Docherty will be pretty content with the opening to the match by his players.
With Helium, they're in the right areas. They're taking the game to Aberdeen. They've had a couple of opportunities to stick a through ball and put them in goal as well, but they've started well, as you said.
Foul by Adewumi on Devlin on this near side. Player of the month, Willie. Nicky Devlin for October.
Yeah, he's been impressive. He's certainly defensively been pretty sound. Maybe perhaps not last weekend right enough, but he's up against top quality player. And he's chipped in with goals. He's obviously his strength for me, same as McKenzie, is going forward. I think defensively both of them could do better, but I do feel that Nicky Devlin deserved that award.
I think Jack McKenzie might have been in the mix for that as well. It would have been the month of fullbacks because Celtic's Alistair Johnston's been superb too. Probably between those two, the two right backs at the two top clubs in the Premiership right now, would have been the two competing for the award, and Devlin came out on top. But Dundee looking to come out on top here, and they have the ball again at the edge of the Aberdeen box. The back heel from Murray to Larkesh, keeps it in play. Looks to pull it back to the left angle of the area there for Cameron. Takes a touch, right-footed, bends the ball in, and ghosting in at the back post was an opportunity for Dundee. Wow, the space and time. I think it was Adewumi who popped up out there. Had there to try and touch it home. How on earth has he not scored?
It's like the old slow-mo. I think the angle was against him, but it's a great ball again. I think it was Cameron and just that in-swinger, and I mean, he just goes in, it clears the Aberdeen defence, and he just guides it. I think he's caught in between. I'll put it back onto a Dundee player and he can knock in the net, or if it goes in and bounces over the goalkeeper, then it might sneak in as well. But it's a great opportunity for Adewumi. Sorry.
He's drifted really well off the back of McKenzie again, not aware of what's behind him. And Adewumi, it's a tight angle though, Liam.
Yeah, just seeing how tight
really
it
tight
was,
angle.
Yeah.
And he's almost tried to pass it. I think you're right. I think he's not sure whether to have a go at goal or play it across the face, caught in between, and eventually doesn't do either of the two, and it just kind of bounces into the ground, and it still stays in, by the way, right across the face of the goal, but a big chance.
Bit of a let-off for Aberdeen, that one. 0-0, we played 8 minutes.
Dundee in the right areas again. They're just what we were touching on. They're really up for this game. They look dangerous, and Aberdeen just have to find a way to win, like Motherwell did today after their defeat in the semi-final last week.
Clarkson finds McKenzie. Aberdeen attacking this time. McKenzie level with the edge of the D of the Dundee penalty area on the far side into a central position. He comes, he finds Shinnie. Keskin in the edge of the box, works it back to Shinnie, left hand side of the area. There was a challenge, he shoots, and it's blocked on the line there by Robertson, who gets it away. Really good play by Shinnie. Had he gone down there, the referee's got a decision to make.
Yeah, but McGee, I think he's got a touch on the ball, and that was vital that he did, because Shinnie was thinking about it, and we've seen Shinnie before. When he gets in those areas, he's not slow to go down. But I'm sure McGee, I might be wrong, just gets a little foot in the ball, and it's such an important tackle and touch, because if he does it, the angle's there for Shinnie to score.
It's a dangerous challenge though, isn't it, from McGee? I don't know if he does. We're seeing a replay here, Dodgy. He might be able to just get in there as Shinnie plays a 1-2. I don't know if he does get a touch on it. Anyway, Shinnie didn't go down, but if he had gone down, then that was a big decision for the referee.
Larkesh turning away from Devlin, pulls it back to Cameron at the edge of the Aberdeen box, but he's fired it well wide, and it's sliced behind for the goal kick, and it remains nothing each, but a real opportunity for Aberdeen there, and Clark Robertson was in the right place. You're talking about Dundee players being in the right place tonight so far. Clark Robertson most certainly was.
After the tackle, yeah, he was. He got himself back in the line when the shot came in. It was probably going in, but might have just been missing target, but he wasn't to know that, and got it booted clear. Really good start to the game.
Cameron turning it back into the centre circle for Robertson. Started his career here. There was chat a couple of years ago, maybe even 3 years ago now, that he might have been returning to the club. Ended up going to Israel. Now Dens missed the start of the season through injury. Here's Keskinen for Aberdeen. Forward he comes. Sockler goes down. Yellow cards coming out for Astley here. Sockler winning the free kick. He got between the two defenders, and the referee David Dickinson has the yellow card out for the first time this evening.
Covered round Wally Robertson, wasn't he?
It's got to be, isn't it though? I mean, it's got to be a yellow card there, and there is contact. It's a lovely through pass from Keskinen as well, onto just in front of Sockler, and Sockler would have been onto it, so it's maybe a yellow card that was worth getting, I think.
I think so. Well, Robertson was there, but the thing is, a few Aberdeen fans wanted a sending off, but that was never happening because it was Robertson giving them that cover. But good play again from Aberdeen, good ball, and there was an opportunity there for them.
Leighton Clarkson standing over the free kick. No Jamie McGrath tonight. It was a year ago today, I noticed he scored a wonderful free kick from further out than this one against Pauk in Greece. It's Clarkson who's more than capable himself here, 25 yards out. He shoots off the top of the wall though, and it bounces out to this near side. Shinnie trying to get there ahead of Larkesh, and Shinnie did get the head there, and he's been brought to the ground by Larkesh, and the Aberdeen captain wins his team another free kick, but this time out on this near side touchline.
And Murray's taken one for the team there, right on the head, and he hit the deck there. His head obviously was spinning in that wall because it was a good effort from Clarkson. Thought he got it up and over, but Murray jumped, took it right in the forehead, collapsed, but then got himself back up. Aberdeen win the free kick out on this right hand side. First
Start for Leighton Clarkson since the game at Celtic Park, where he was hooked at half time. Missed a really good opportunity in that game in Glasgow. And he's going to take this free kick as well from the right hand side. Bends it in. Sockler's header is well wide, and it stays Aberdeen 0, Dundee 0 on 12 minutes. But perhaps Sockler didn't realise just how good a chance that one was as he rose ahead of the Dundee defence.
He should have though. I'll tell you, he should have, because it was a great delivery. It was in there with a lot of power as well, and you know, he's got plenty of space. He's not under any pressure from a blue jersey at all. And you know, for me, Sockler's got to adjust himself there and make a better effort, hit target at the very least, because that's a big chance.
Aberdeen have it with Rubičić. Low ball out to Devlin. Back in the Scotland squad. It's been quite the season for Nicky Devlin, with everything that's going on. Scotland cap, player of the month, scoring goals as well. He's contributing in other ways to his team's enthralling start to the Premiership campaign. They're a quarter of the way through it after tonight. They could be sitting top of the table. There are some anomalies in the league. Some teams have played one or two more than Aberdeen, as that's switched out to McKenzie over on the left, pulls it back to Clarkson, reverse disguise ball back towards McKenzie, tries to play it across, blocked by the defender Silla, who got back to make that block. As Clarkson picks up the scraps on the far side, he can't find Palaversa though. It was out off a Dundee boot for an Aberdeen throw-in over on that far side.
There's plenty of energy in the game anyway. You know, both sets of players willing to get forward really early. Some nice intricate passing, little 1-2, some long range passing. That Shinnie crossfield pass to McKenzie was a thing of beauty. Nothing came of it eventually, but hey, so far 13 minutes gone, I don't think there's any complaints in the ground.
I'm not surprised. It's a good game. We know how Tony Docherty sets up, and we've talked about the goals his team have lost this season, but they've scored a few as well. Really important win last week, and Aberdeen the way they've been playing, so we're getting a decent one.
Here come Dundee, an opportunity. Adewumi comes through, it's been blocked, and it breaks back to Mulligan, looking to keep it alive. He's just to the right of the penalty spot. Aberdeen have enough bodies in the way to make the block. It looked like Adewumi was going to put Dundee in front there. The goal was gaping in front of him, but his effort was blocked, and it stays goalless on 14.
What a chance. You don't get better. Rubičić has got to stay away from him. When he touches him, he's hitting the deck, and it's a penalty, and he might even be off. But I think he goes wrong side, because the Aberdeen players are covering from that side, because he's through in this left-hand side. They're covering round. See if he reverses it. I don't think they have a chance, and I think the ball ends up in the net. But he gave the defenders a chance, and it was a great tackle, just a saving tackle.
Mulligan down towards the corner flag, tries to get it across, comes off Simon Murray's, kept it in, blasts it across. Aberdeen clear. Dundee corner over on the far side.
I think Rubičić has got to be more alert though. You know, it's a decent ball in behind him, but Adewumi, you know, is playing on his shoulder. He gets in front of the centre back. I think the centre back actually, he slips and he falls. Otherwise, I think he's colliding into him.
Dundee corner, right in front of their fans over on the far side. Marquesh is over it. Group of players on the 6-yard line, a couple run about the penalty spot in dark blue, looking to get on the end of something. It's been played back low to the right angle of the box, and then it comes from, well, it's a fabulous ball in from Adewumi again, and Mitov wasn't decisive. Looked like it had actually squirmed through his fingers and dropped in behind him.
No, it did. He was fortunate. There wasn't a blue jersey there to take advantage. Mitov comes out. He should judge the flight of the ball. He's came out too far ahead of the ball. He's stretched up there and he's got two hands on it, but you know, it squirmed out of his hands and fallen in behind him. Very fortunate indeed.
Well, he lost that flight and he was a lucky boy, because an Aberdeen player standing behind him. If it's a Dundee player, he just taps it in the empty net.
Adewumi's causing loads of problems for Aberdeen in the early exchanges of this game. Just about 16 in, and the man on loan from Burnley's had a couple of opportunities to put Dundee in front. Aberdeen have had one or two chances themselves. It remains 0-0 as it was the last time these two met here. And there was a day of celebration for Dundee because they sealed their place in the top 6 with that point, coupled with the result in the Hibs-Motherwell game, which was going on at the same time. The scores in the Premiership earlier on today: Dundee United 3, Ross County 0, Hibs 1, St Mirren 2. The problems mount for David Gray, and for Hibs, Motherwell 2, St Johnstone 1. There's the other match in the Premiership: Kilmarnock Celtic, Rangers Hearts. Double bill to come tomorrow. Here at Pittodrie, no goals. And it's Rubizic with the ball forward, Duke with a header out to the left-hand side, but Dundee pick up through Mulligan initially. And then Seb Palmer-Holdens onto it, and he rolls it back to Robertson midway inside his own half. Gets it forward to the skipper, Murray. Murray looks up, he's looking to drift it forward. There's acres of space in that Aberdeen defence. Palmer-Holden gets towards it, Malloy gets caught in a fan call. Palmer-Holden fires it across goal. No takers in dark blue. Cameron trying to keep it alive, he's done well to keep it in. First time low ball back to Larkesh. Bundling himself to the byline, pulls the ball into the Aberdeen box. Poor touch from Clarkson. Eventually he's able to get it clear. And Dundee look menacing dangerous every time they come forward here.
But when he turned Murray, he never just had Palmer-Holding. He had McGee there as well, and it's sorry, was it Mulligan or McGee? But there were two willing runners, and Aberdeen and nobody covering. But Malloy eventually shows good pace to defend the situation well, but got a wee bit fortunate. Aberdeen. Dundee looking dangerous again.
Adewumi all over Shinnie. The Shinnie reacts this time, passes it back to Rubizic now with Devlin. And you can forgive the Aberdeen defence feeling a little bit shaky tonight, given what happened at Hampden last Saturday. Mitov dinks it forward to Shinnie. Shinnie looks up, it's a long switch of play out towards Duke. He's found him as well. Duke controls well, taking on McGee, attacking the Dundee box. Goes on to his left side, going towards the byline, fires it across, and he forces the save from John McCracken. Still in play over there, McKenzie battling with Palmer-Houlden. He's managed to get it back to Duke. Duke level with the penalty spot to Shinnie, but it just rolls under his foot, and Dundee are away in a counter here. Josh Mulligan driving forward into the midfield, still he goes, down he goes, but it's a slip. Tony Docherty's down there wanting the free kick that isn't coming, and it stays Aberdeen 0, Dundee 0. Here's Clarkson.
On you go, Liam.
Yeah, he's not found McKenzie. No. Palmer-Houlden puts it out for a throw in.
Eyes off it though.
No, you can't, and it's, you know, as soon as anything breaks down, the intent is to get forward as quickly as possible, you know, and it's not a case of just, you know, lashing the ball forward. There's some good plays, some individual runs as well. You know, and I felt, was it McGee that got brought down there? He slipped, but the thing being, it was a free kick. Mulligan, I think. I thought it was a free kick for the first challenge. The second challenge it wasn't, but the first I thought the referee was going to give it.
Made him lose balance, didn't he? And then he's stumbling in.
Yeah.
We've got all sorts happening here. The game's loco at the moment.
No goals though. Palaversa infield to Shinnie, looks up at the Dundee box, drives it towards goal, but it's come off a defender, takes the sting out of it, and Marquesh can smash it away with a left foot up towards the halfway line. It breaks to McKenzie, and he goes all the way back to Mitov. Murray chasing it down as is his wont. And now it's with Malloy to Shinnie, left of the centre circle, side foot past to Clarkson, good touch away from Silla, checks and turns and plays it out to Duke on the left, taking on McGee, and then showing too much of it to Jordan McGee, who makes the challenge, and it breaks to Cameron, who goes back to his keeper, and McCracken fires it forward first time with the right foot. Palaversa flicking on when it breaks to Cameron, and then really good challenge by Clarkson to pinch it off McGee, and Duke's away down the left-hand side. Sockler's waiting in the middle. Duke might go himself here, and he forces the save from McCracken again. He's had 2 bites at the Dundee goal in the last couple of minutes as Aberdeen's number 11. It stays 0-0 as they come forward again down that left-hand side. It's Jack McKenzie up against Palmer Holden, finds Clarkson, lovely little flick forward to the byline for McKenzie, hoisted into the box, headed away by Mulligan. Devlin gets onto it, facing his own goal, passes it back into his own half for Rubezic, and back to Meikle. That was the Duke of old, that, Willie Miller.
It was, in both occasions, really, you know, showing his intent, his pace, taking players on. Whenever he gets a little sighted goal, having a strike, really good save there from McCracken at his near post as well, because there's a lot of power in that shot.
Here's Devlin picking up from a big switch out to him at the right angle of the box, no space, and he passes it straight off Larkesh, and Adewumi trying to get onto it, but Devlin reacts and has it back for Aberdeen. Here's Shinnie to Clarkson, then to Shinnie. McKenzie over on that far side if he wants him. He plays it infield instead to Clarkson. Right-footed ball, back out left for McKenzie. Now Shinnie, level with the Dundee penalty spot. Side foot to Clarkson. It's good play from Clarkson. He shimmied away. His effort at goal is blocked. Breaks to McKenzie though. McKenzie's cross too high for everyone, including Esther Sockler. And it comes out to a Dundee man on this near side, and it is Ryan Astley. Give the flicks and tricks from Leighton Clarkson tonight. He looks like he's keen to make the most of being back in the starting 11.
Yeah, good pressure from him as well. Then the little ball that set Duke away. Here we go again.
Duke again down the left-hand side. Good period for Aberdeen. It's Duke inside the Dundee box. Clark Robertson does well though, but Duke turns it back to Palaversa, out to the left for McKenzie. Finds Keskinen, left-hand side of the penalty area. Topi Keskinen, little dink ball, and against the back post, but again there's nobody in red and white, and it goes behind for the goal kick and stays Aberdeen 0, Dundee 0, which has been a better spell for the home team just these last 5 minutes.
No, it has, and most of it's been down the left-hand side, and Clarkson, you're right, you know, a lot of nice touches, but what a tackle he had as well to win the opportunity to set in Duke for the strike as well. So, you know, good attitude, closing down, putting the challenge in, but immense skill as well. We know he's got that. He has got that in his locker. He's great from set pieces, from free kicks outside the box, for deliveries into the box. You know, he puts one in Chockler's head. Chockler should have done much better. So, listen, good game of football. You've got to applaud both sides so far.
The last couple, I mean, Aberdeen, it was the right type of ball in, Liam, because they're hung up there, but the problem they had was Keskinen was over on that side with them, and he definitely couldn't get himself forward. He's stuck halfway, so the full Aberdeen over that left-hand side of the pitch, but it wasn't a bad ball that was put in.
And a good battle out there. I'll tell you, John McCracken will be grateful to have made a couple of really good saves there, particularly that first goal last week against Kelly.
He needs to make them, you know what goalkeepers are like, and he'll be before he come into this game, he'll probably have been saying, let me make a couple of early saves, just to bed myself in, because he looked nervous last week. It was a really poor goal, but it's how you bounce back, isn't it?
Now, he's kind of flip-flopped between him and Trevor Carson as Tony Docherty this season. That probably doesn't do goalkeepers' confidence any good, because at some point they're being dropped because they've gone out of form, and of course he's lost his place in the Scotland squad as well.
It's telling them that the manager ain't sure who the number one is.
Yeah. Here's Clark Robertson picking up midway inside his own half. Under pressure from Sockler, he finds Astley to his right. He goes back to the keeper. We've just been talking about, we're beyond the first quarter of this one. No goals, chances at both ends though. That long ball comes through, Malloy heads it away into the midfield. McGee battling, and he's done really well. Shinnie gets it away momentarily from Adewumi, but it comes to Cameron, who plays it low out to this left-hand side for Larkesh. Then Cameron back into the centre circle for Sela. Sela then to the right for Astley, and into the left of the circle for Robertson. Robertson facing Sockler, decides to shift it back to Astley. Dundee trying to find a way through here. It's a long ball. It's caused Aberdeen problems at times tonight, and Gavin Malloy heads it behind for the corner. They don't look comfortable at all, Aberdeen, when that long ball's coming towards them.
That should be dealt with much more comfortably than you know what it was there from Malloy. It's just a long ball. You've got to deal with that. You've got to judge the flight of the ball. You know, a little header over the top of Palmer Holden, and make him look a little bit silly, but he gets too close to the Dundee player, and eventually they're going for the same ball, and it comes off the side of his head and out for the corner.
Adewumi from the short corner, back to Cameron. It comes off an Aberdeen head and flashes across the 6-yard line and breaks out to this near side for a Dundee throw in about level with the Aberdeen penalty spot. Another really good ball in from that far side.
Putting in some deliveries, but they're working that corner where they put 3 out. They try to move Aberdeen, and sometimes they'll roll it to the nearest man and he'll find the third man, but on that occasion they missed out the nearest man, put it to the third man. Good cross in again from Cameron, and I'll tell you what, the Dons looked as if they got a little bit lucky again, because it deflected, could have gone anywhere, but they got it safe.
Yeah, they're looking a little bit panicked and spooked at the back right now, the home team, whenever that ball comes towards the penalty area. And it's Dundee on the ball again with Astley right of the circle. He passes it back into it for Robertson, shifts it forward to Cameron, who played 26 goalless. And Pittodrie revisits with a strong challenge, and Adewumi breaks to Sockler. His pass was cut out, but it bounces back to Palaversa, who tries to get Keskinen away, but Robertson's there to mop up, and he shifts it back to McCracken, who finds Astley. Side football forward to Silla. To the right of the circle, it's with Murray looking for Mulligan, and then Aberdeen pinch it back to Palaversa. Now it's with Shinnie. He's got it through to Keskinen. Haven't really seen much of Keskinen in the game. He's got a chance to run at the Dundee defence here. Right hand side of the box he is. Then he takes himself on really and gives it away. And it's cleared by Cameron. And his ball up the line goes straight to Graham Shinnie. You can see they played a lot of money for Keskinen as Palaversa is brought to the ground by Mulligan. It's going to be a free kick to Aberdeen. Paid a lot of money for Keskinen, Willie, but you can see he's still very raw.
Yeah, indeed, you know, and I think at times his decision making, I think at times he goes forward too quickly without thinking. You know, maybe think about the game a little bit, maybe don't just go as you know, just get the head down and drive, get the head up, have a look where your teammates are. He very rarely brings his teammates into play as well. If he could do that more often, then I think it would help him, but the head was down. He was trying a trick or two inside the ball, but he was well covered. He was never going to find this space, I don't think.
He's one of those where he's quick, but sometimes the brain isn't.
Yeah.
And you're right, he's got to slow himself down at times, because so many times he could have stuck people in. I've seen him a few times, and even in international setup, he could have put people through 1-on-1 and just gets head down and hits a shot at times.
Aberdeen have it wide right at the Dundee box. Sockler back to Devlin, who goes back to Shinnie. Moves into the right central area. Clarkson's first time ball easily cut out by Robertson. And now it's with Murray challenging with Malloy, who recovers well there, just as it looked as though Palmer Holden was going to pinch it off him and have a drive in on goal there. And run about the halfway line. It's back with Mitov now though, and Palaversa under pressure from Adewumi finds Shinnie, and now it's Devlin to Palaversa to Devlin, and then back to the Croatian, getting a start in place of the ill Sivert Nielsen this evening.
There's some energy.
Clears. Dundee are all over Aberdeen there, throttling the game actually.
I'm loving the midfield area, because we saw one just a few minutes ago, when Shinnie came out with it and stuck a pass through, and it was to Keskinen. But it's been a great battle. You look at the three in there: Shinnie, Palaversa, Clarkson against Silla, Cameron and Josh Mulligan. It's going to be a big part of the match. I know the midfield positions are, but you can see it tonight.
It's a really tight contest in there as well. I mean, the energy that they're showing, you know, Tony Dock's obviously asking his players to close the opposition down. I don't think they do it well enough. They don't do it in a group. It seems to be individually, but it takes, you know, a whole heap of energy out of them, and they're very willing in doing that. And I just think it's an energetic performance from both sets of players. But maybe at times, just slow it down a little bit, be a little bit more thoughtful.
A header into the Aberdeen box looking for Palmer Holden. Malloy heads it back out for a Dundee throw-in. Right up the pitch here, about level with the Aberdeen penalty spot. A little bit of drizzle beginning to tumble down from above. It has been a wet day in Aberdeen. And there will be a throw into Dundee, as I say, right up the pitch. And Ryan Astley is away out there to take it in front of the Dundee supporters. But 1,000 odd of them over in the south stand. And Astley looking to put the Aberdeen defence under pressure. Here in it comes. It's nodded back out of the area. Clarkson helps it on its way. Astley still out there, gets onto it and rolls it back to Silla. approaching the half-hour mark. Aberdeen 0, Dundee 0. It's with Lyle Cameron over on the right, level with the edge of the centre circle. And then he eventually comes back to Silla from Astley into his own half, where he finds Clark Robertson. And then back to McCracken. You think it's been an even game? Is it even, or...?
Yeah. No, I think it is, yeah. I mean, both teams have created opportunities, have had chances. The game has been played very quickly, end-to-end stuff as well. I wouldn't say any team has been better than the other. Both have had some really excellent points that we could speak about, we have spoken about, and one or two negatives as well.
Dundee have it right of the circle in the Aberdeen half. It's pushed forward by Astley to Silla, and out onto that far side for McGee. He passes it back to Astley. You can see Dundee are buoyant off the back of that late victory last week, coming from 2-0 behind to beat Kilmarnock, as Killie had done at Dens in the previous meeting not long before. Long ball for Dundee, forward is clear next with Duke on the left, and he's got Clarkson away. Clarkson has got Keskinen and Sockler making their way towards the box. He's looking for Shinnie. Shinnie's managed to do enough to find Duke on the left hand side. At the left angle of the 6-yard box, pulls it back to Devlin. Devlin then into the 6-yard area looking for Sockler. It's cut out. Breaks to Palaversa, hits it down into the ground. Cleared by Silla. Only as far as Devlin. Then Murray, the tireless Murray, wins it off Shinnie. Brilliantly done by the Dundee skipper. And there you go, he's just taken all the pressure off his defenders because of his work rate, his will to get back and help out.
And that energy again, just getting in an area that Aberdeen were threatening, they break up, and now it's Dundee, it's on the attack. Brilliant from Murray. Mulligan
gets away from Duke and fires it to McGee on the right hand side. Rolls it forward to Palmer Holden, level with the penalty spot. His ball across is cut out, and it bounces around. Stayed in play. How on earth did that stay in play? It looked for all the money. It was going out for a throw-in. Dundee play on. It slipped into the area, but it's a low ball which is easily cleared by Gavin Malloy. Now
some
with
spin
Astley
on it, wasn't there, that ball?
Yeah, it looked like, as I said, it looked like it was going out south stand side. Dundee play on. And it's McGee back to Astley, and now with Silla. Silla then into the centre circle for Robertson. The way Dundee are attacking this match, they don't look like a team that's only won once away from home in the league this campaign, and haven't been in the, I was going to say the best of form, they haven't been in the best of form. It's been really up and down for them. 3 wins in the league up to this point, the end of the first quarter for them. They've played 11 league games, one more than Aberdeen have. Just 2 wins in 10. They've lost 6 of those as Cameron picks up a loose ball, driving to the edge of the Aberdeen box, slips it in behind McKenzie, but it just wouldn't fall for Murray. Though he gets a second chance at it, and the low snapshot is saved by Mitov, and it stays Aberdeen 0, Dundee 0 with 12 of the 45 to play.
They go direct, and Willie said correctly a few moments ago, it's causing Aberdeen trouble, and they do well when they knock it down. But it's in midfield again. Cameron's up on it, nip away at it, get it, and then make a lovely pass to Murray, and you're thinking he's laid him in there. Maybe McKenzie just did enough to put him off. He had to turn back out, still got a shot away, saved at the bottom corner, but another good dangerous move from Dundee.
Long ball for Keskinen is well dealt with by Astley. Comes to McGee, and he goes back to McCracken. The Dundee performance at Dens against Aberdeen, it's one of the best I've seen Dundee against Aberdeen for a long time, probably potentially going back to when they had all the big money players there, Caballero, Ravanelli, Nimsadze, all these guys.
You mentioned it in the team, so I was thinking about that game, and I'm thinking, I bet he felt hard done by. He was like, look, we owe this team things like that just to give you an edge. I wouldn't be surprised if he mentioned it in his team talk tonight, Tony Docherty, that exact game you're talking about, Liam.
Palaversa out to Devlin on the near side. Devlin loses out to Cameron though, and then brings Cameron down, and Nicky Devlin's going to be yellow carded. It's a clear professional foul. I think he's speaking to David Dickinson, the referee, about it, but I don't think he can have too many complaints, Nicky Devlin. And for all Devlin and McKenzie have had brilliant seasons, Willie, there have been times where they get caught in behind.
Well,
not just tonight.
The best part of the game's going forward, Liam, and that's both of them. They've still got a lot to learn, although Nicky Devlin's at the age where you would think he would have done all his learning, but at the same time he's still suspect at times defensively, and Jack McKenzie needs to learn a little bit as well. Both you know, last season and this season have done extremely well, but there are these negative aspects of their game, and it's all about defending.
Marquesh leaving the free kick here for Cameron. They're taking a while over it. A couple of feet from this near side touchline. Cameron bends it into the edge of the box where it's headed away by McKenzie. It's now with Silla. The final 10 of the first half, 0-0. Silla rolling it back the way to McCracken, midway inside his own half, the Dundee keeper. Under pressure from Clarkson, he gets it away. Long ball down the right, McGee chases Malloy, trying to see it behind for the goal kick, which he does. It's Aberdeen 0, Dundee 0.
I'm thinking Silla, he's a good 15-20 yards inside the Aberdeen half. There must be a better option than to play it back to your goalkeeper for that position, surely. Just throw it into the box, and even if you're just keeping your fingers crossed rather than putting it back to McCracken, which he did, and eventually McCracken just hoofs it up the park and it goes out for a goal kick. I can't see the logic in that.
He's timed McCracken as well. I was thinking, oh, don't have another clanger, son. You've done well in this match.
It's kind of seesawed this game. Dundee have just had a good little spell after Aberdeen. That they're probably their best period in the game. It's kind of flip-flopped between the two. Rubezic picks up and finds Shinnie, but despite that, it hasn't looked at any point that one of the teams has got total control of the football match, even though they've both had spells in the game where they've threatened.
It's not a controlled game. You know, it's an end-to-end game, Liam. The pace off it is quite frightening. Players don't get much time in the ball. You know, it's not a case of that you're going to see possession stats that are high over a period of time. You know, the ball has been delivered forward early, and you know, if it's not been delivered forward early, it's run. The players are running with the ball early as well, as we're witnessing just now.
Yeah, Cameron finding Larkesh left hand side of the Aberdeen box. He's driving into it, checks his run, pulls it across. Rubezic not decisive. Dundee have a man down in the area between the two defenders. And a shout for a penalty. It was Lyle Cameron, who's had an excellent evening so far. No penalty given by the on-field official, David Dickinson. Here come Dundee again, knocking it about well. Mulligan pulling it back. Sockler plays it off Murray. Goes up high into the air. Devlin with a little header. Larkesh looking to keep it alive down by the byline, but it bobbles behind. And it stays Aberdeen 0, Dundee 0. But another hairy moment for the Aberdeen defence there.
I think it will be checked. Didn't see too much contact, and then eventually Adewumi goes down.
They've had a look,
well.
but it's not going to come to anything, will it?
Yeah, it didn't look. It's the other end of the park here. We don't have a great view of it. There's plenty of bodies there, but you know, the thing is, it's such a quick game, isn't it? You know, the players,
I've loved the intensity of it.
Yeah, the players are not getting any time to think or dwell on the ball. And Dundee are working extremely hard. I mean, both sides are working extremely hard to close the opposition down.
Lyle Cameron's been everywhere, and I mean, Dundee won't want to lose him, but you kind of think he's going to be the next one after Luke McCowan went to Celtic earlier this campaign. You would expect people to be very interested in Lyle Cameron.
He was great in the Championship as well, and he was a real danger player as well when I was at Cali Thistle, and he's taken on into the Premier League as well, and there must be a few sniffing about. That's why that midfield tonight, I mean, I think they know that Aberdeen are strong in there, and they've been brilliant all season, and they have to match that, and I think that's a big part of Dundee's plans tactically tonight. We must match them in that midfield area to try and get control of the game at times.
Aberdeen have it on the far side. It's Palaversa firing it into Rubezic, and then Rubezic out to Keskinen on the right against Larkesh. Rolls it infield for Shinnie on the halfway line to Palaversa. Option out on this right hand side is Devlin. Keskinen trying to get up to support. Devlin uses him with a decoy, drops the shoulder, comes in field, and then rolls it to Shinnie. Shinnie's got McKenzie out on the left if he wants him. Looks like the most simple option. That's where the pass goes. It's with McKenzie, and then passes it to Palaversa, and then in turn back to Graham Shinnie. Dundee are back in numbers here though. Shinnie finding Devlin. Keskinen on this near side, up against Larkesh, the right angle of the box. They're going to take him on, level with the penalty spot, turns back round, has a look up, and then rolls it back to Palaversa, then back to Keskinen. Can have another go at Larkesh here. They get more joy here. Flicks it with the outside of the right boot. It comes off Clarkson and breaks to Josh Mulligan, who's got Dundee away again over on the right-hand side. It just looks like too hard work for Topi Keskinen right now.
Yeah.
Dundee free kick, by the way.
I think if he just keeps it a little bit more simpler, you know, if he gets the opportunity to try to take Larkes to the byline, then just, even if he gets a corner kick out, you know, I think it's better than what he's trying to do, all the fancy footwork over the ball. He's turning it onto his left foot there. He's in taking his right foot. He's trying to wrap his right foot round the ball to curl it in, and it goes nowhere. So simplify it a little bit, use your pace, be direct, do things quickly, take on the fullback, try to hit the byline and put the ball across the face of the goal. It's quite simple.
The final 5 minutes of the opening 45, still no goals in this one. Earlier, goals from Stevenson, Dalby and Sturton saw Dundee United beat Ross County 3-0 as Adewumi goes down and the card's coming out for Rubezic here. A long ball, Adewumi went down and Rubezic has his arms outstretched. None of his teammates are complaining.
Yeah, he just bumped him. He saw the flight of the ball and he knew he was going to go up and just bumped him to the ground. And referee David Dickinson was right on it.
2 goals for Conor McMenamin kept St Mirren's good form against Hibs going. 2-1 win at Easter Road. Nicky Cadden scored a penalty and then thought he'd equalised, or at least the Hibs fans thought he'd equalised right at the death. St Mirren held out to win. Motherwell 2, St Johnstone 1. Maswinisi and Sparrow. Clark scored the Saints goal from the penalty spot. Here's Cameron for Dundee. Long ball into the box. Mitov holds on and it stays. Aberdeen 0, Dundee 0.
Yeah, wasted opportunity there, Lyle Cameron, who has been pretty much outstanding. He's been all over the pitch, hasn't he? He's trying to take control of it. He's certainly plenty of energy in the midfield, but on that occasion, you know, it's a poor delivery into the box. It's too easy for Mitov just to come and collect.
Mulligan evading Shinnie. Now it's found the feet of Cameron. He rolls it out to the right-hand side. This has been an excellent Dundee performance, this. So Mulligan pulls it back to Silla, and now with Robertson driving forward. Aberdeen's wins haven't been simple ones this season. I mean, a lot of tight games. It's their last 6. They've all won by a single goal. Big challenges. And they're going to have to overcome another big one here if they're going to go top of the table tonight, or at least get that latest win as Malloy tries to hold off Murray. Has he done enough? Oh, penalty Dundee. It's a foul by Malloy. He's got caught against Murray as he was at Dens Park earlier in the season. Really clumsy. He's tried to shepherd it behind, and Murray, who just wasn't giving up, down went the Dundee captain, and it's a real error for Malloy, and he's pulled Murray to the ground. It's crazy defending, and it's a Dundee penalty as we approach half-time.
Yeah, looks a stick on, doesn't it? You know, and Malloy doing exactly the wrong thing, trying to allow the ball, which didn't have the pace to go out over the byline, and as Murray goes towards the byline, he gets goal side of him, gets a little touch on the ball as well, and Malloy pulls him to the ground.
Know your players as well, though. He's strong. Just deal with it, because you know he's not going to give up. Yeah.
Surely you'd rather concede a corner than a penalty kick.
Especially when it's Murray, it's hassling you. You're like, all right, he's strong, he's quick, I'm dealing with it, I'll ask questions later.
Crazy, yeah. Crazy defending. And he hasn't learned his lesson, because that happened at Dens. He gave away the penalty, brought Murray down, and Murray is going to take it himself. Of course he is. The Dundee skipper at the beach end, right-footed. Mitov saves! Brilliant save, down to the left from Dimitar Mitov. Gavin Malloy owes his keeper a drink big time. Less than 2 minutes to go of the 45. It stays Aberdeen 0, Dundee 0. Mitov at full stretch. He's got a really good record at saving penalties, and he saved that one as well. It stays goalless.
I don't know about you, Willie. I'm going to ask you. I think that is top draw, that save. I mean, that is going right in the corner.
Yeah, it's a good penalty, but it's a bad penalty as well, because it's been saved. But it's been saved because the goalkeeper, Mitov, has done similar to the one up at Ross County. You know, where he dives to his the other side, and he's looked at that one. He's taken a guess right. I think Murray went that way at Dens, didn't he? He went the same. My memory serves me right.
He did. Yeah.
So he's guessed right. He's went the same way, and he's stretched out. But it's a brilliant penalty save.
Keskinen for Aberdeen shoots and forces the save from the Kraken from just outside the box.
Surely we get goals in this game. Well, I felt it from the start. I know they've missed the penalty, but it's going to be one of those. Surely it's not going to be one of those games where it's intensity, it's high energy, and then you don't get any goals. But we've missed the penalty, so we've seen it happen before. But surely there's going to be goals in this game. I mean, just from that penalty save to Keskinen going up and hitting a really good shot that was well saved by McCracken and held.
The penalty is an enormous let-off for Aberdeen, and they've got to try, as they did at Ross County, they've got to try and feed off the fact that they've got away with it.
Yeah, and you can, obviously, because you
1 minute added, by the way, Willie, sorry,
yeah,
we're into it.
It's a relief, isn't it? You know, because you think just before half-time, worst time to get a goal scored against you, and it's a big opportunity for Dundee, but your goalkeeper drags you out of the mess.
Here's Adewumi again down the left-hand side. It bounced off Malloy, back to Adewumi, gets the cross ball in. It's flicked for goal, but Mitov will hold on to it. It was Palmer Holden. And it looks as though it's going to be a goalless first half, which is incredible, really, given the opportunities for both teams. You have to credit the two keepers. That Keskinen shot from just outside the box, he got behind that. He made it look like a simple save to John McCracken. He saved twice from Duke. Mitov saved that penalty from Simon Murray. So the reason this game's goalless is because of the two keepers, as David Dickinson blows the half-time whistle. Has it been a brilliant first half from Aberdeen, you would have to say, as the home team? Dundee have dominated for big spells in that first half, and they'll feel aggrieved they're not going in at half-time with a lead. Simon Murray missing the best opportunity of all from the penalty spot after Gavin Malloy brought him down. It was the same equation. And just before half-time in the match at Dens as well, the difference on that occasion was Aberdeen were already 2-0 up. This very tight game, 0-0. Murray seeing the penalty saved by Mitov. And how important is that going to prove to be come the close of play this evening? Duke forcing those saves from John McCracken as well. Simon Murray, the snapshot saved. Toby Keskinen with the effort just before the break, just after the penalty, which was held on to by John McCracken. We would expect goals therefore in the second half of the match here at Pittodrie, where at half-time under the lights here in this Saturday Night Football live on Sports Sound is Aberdeen 0, Dundee 0.
On digital radio,
FM,
online at BBC Sports Scotland,
your smart speaker,
and on BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
Off the ball and in! What a strike! What a goal!
Join us for another big night of BBC Children in Need.
Have we got a show for you?
With a Doctor Who exclusive.
We are going to rock through time.
Gladiator stars like you've never seen them before.
Gladiators, ready!
A BAFTA award-winning global superstar taken to the stage for Strictly. Children going head-to-head with celebs on Graham Norton's Red Chair.
It's a bit of an ego crusher.
And so much more. Children in Need. Friday night at 7 on BBC iPlayer.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Just watching the replay there of that save from Mitov just before the break from Simon Murray's penalty. Goalless at half-time at Pittodrie, but a really good game, you'd have to say, between Aberdeen and Dundee. Looking at the results from the 3 o'clock games, Dundee United 3, Ross County 0, Hibs 1, St Mirren 2, Motherwell 2, St Johnstone 1. We'll hear from some of the managers in a few minutes' time. The rest we'll hear when the game is done and dusted at Pittodrie. So, Willie Miller, what have you made of it? Have you enjoyed this one? It's been a decent game, hasn't it?
It's been an exciting first 45 minutes, Kenny, there's no doubt about that. The fans should have nothing to complain about, other than the fact that perhaps the home side are not on top. It's been pretty even, you know, and then just before half-time, obviously a big let-off for Aberdeen, the penalty being given, and Mitov making the save, great save from him. Not the best of penalties, reasonably well struck from Simon Murray, but you know, it's that determination, isn't it, when he goes 1v1 against Malloy. Malloy making the wrong decision, trying to just hope that the ball's going to run out. It never looked as though it was going to you know, run out over the byline, and that strength and energy that Murray showed really won the penalty, and Malloy reacted poorly to it second time in consecutive games. He's done that with Simon Murray. So, but it's been a good game of football, Kenny. Absolutely. I think me and Dodgy are thoroughly enjoying it. A lot of energy.
Yeah.
The ball is being transferred back to front very quickly. It's not just been launched. Every now and again it does get launched, but it's just the intent of players to deliver the ball forward, either by pass, maybe over the top at times, or when they've got it at their feet as well, running at the opposition, and making the game quick, going from one end to the other. So as far as a spectacle is concerned, as far as chances being created, absolutely, both teams have made a number of opportunities, created a number of chances. The goalkeepers have had some very, very good saves. The only thing that's lacking really is a goal. That's all I would say. It deserves to have a goal or two. The chances that have been created, I think, would lead us to suggest that there should be goals in this game. And going into the second half, we still reckon there will be goals in this game. But as we know, sometimes you're disappointed you don't get it. But you're not disappointed with the spectacle as a game of football.
Are you enjoying it, Kenny, in that cosy wee studio?
Really enjoying it, Bill. It's been another good day, actually. I've enjoyed the games. We gave the big build-up ahead of the St Mirren game away at Hibs. And Hibs really struggling, Billy. And we'll hear from David Gray. Stephen Robinson, his side were terrific this afternoon. Very, very comfortable, albeit Hibs pulled a goal back late on. Very good from the former Aberdeen manager Jim Goodwin. New contract hit for him this week at Dundee United. Comfortable winners over Ross County. An edgy finish at Fir Park, but Motherwell continuing their great start to the season. And again tonight, Billy, just looking at the stats, 53% possession for the Dons. Both sides 9 shots, both sides 3 on target. And as Willie said, Billy, it just is really enjoyable. There's, I think it's maybe the pace, the intensity it's been played at. Is that the key thing, do you think? Yeah,
I agree with you. I mean, the speed of the play, I don't know if it's the slick pitches, there's been a bit of drizzle up here, but it can't only be that, because the players, we've talked about Lyle Cameron getting about the pitch, how quickly they do it, how they mix up. Dundee sometimes going long or getting up on the end of it, and then a few passes. Aberdeen showing in spells it when they knock it about. Graham Shinnie's hit diagonals, and then Duke's been at his man. So chances at both ends. I've loved the intensity of it, as you say. I can only surely we're going to get goals.
I think so.
Surely. But I've loved the midfield battle, Kenny. I like my tactical side of it, and I honestly think Tony Docks looked at that and thought, right, they've been strong there all season, we're going to match them and better them, and we're going to break off them as well. And I think the Dundee midfield 3 have been absolutely superb. The team Aberdeen have not quite been at it, but they've had their opportunities. But Dundee probably have shaded that half for me, even though it's been a very even game, but I've loved it.
Yeah, it's been great, and I think you're right. He's very tactically astute, as Tony Dock. I remember actually the game might have been Barry Robson's final game up there. Willie was there alongside me. I remember they were ahead, Aberdeen. Tony Dock made the switch at half-time. The game changed. I think it finished in a draw. So it's been a really good game up there, of course. Dundee in the back of a great comeback win against Kilmarnock last weekend. Kilmarnock at home to Celtic tomorrow. It's a 3 o'clock kick-off. Rangers play Hearts at 5 o'clock. Both games on Sports. And 3 games in the top flight kicked off at 3 this afternoon. What a game it was at Easter Road. It finished Hibs 1, St Mirren 2. Hibs remain bottom of the Premiership table. Let's now hear from Hibs manager David Gray. He was chatting with Brian McLaughlin.
David, when we chatted before the game, you were asking the players for a big performance. They didn't deliver today, though, did they?
Certainly not. First half performance, totally unacceptable. I think I've need to apologise to the fans for the first half performance because of the situation we find ourselves in, the need for points and the need for wins. To offer that up is just not good enough.
Why do you think that was?
Listen, you need to give credit to St Mirren as well. They started on the front foot. I thought we started really poorly. They started with everything they would do. They were direct. They were very physical. They won a lot of second balls, and they showed a lot of desire in the game. All the areas in which I thought we didn't in the first half. Individual errors again, poor quality on the ball at times, and then bravery once you've made a mistake. Letting one mistake become another mistake. Are all things that massively let us down in the first half. Second half, we made changes, brought subs on. I thought they impacted the game more positive. We get the penalty, we missed the penalty. Would have been a big moment in the game probably as well. I know how poor we were in the first half, but to get a reaction from the players to then win the penalty, if that goes in, you've got half an hour to go with a bit of momentum. Obviously it doesn't, and then it's probably too little too late, right towards the very end. I know there's the flurry right at the end, but at the end of the day, the damage was done in the first half.
Yeah, you mentioned that first 45 minutes, but when everybody expected Hibs to come out the traps really quickly today, they were passive, weren't they?
Yeah, I just thought they were slow to second balls, as I just touched on there. I thought they had more desire, and they showed that at times in the first half. Obviously the errors in possession, any time we did show any quality, or we were able to put 2 or 3 passes together, we were able to play through them, and then the one bit of quality we did have, we hit the post, but nowhere near enough for where we need to be at this moment in time.
In terms of the players, you can't change players during this spell. The one thing that can be changed is the manager, and that's what Hibs have done over the last few years in terms when things have not been going right. Do you have any fear at all that you may be the next manager to be shown the door here?
I don't think the word fear is right. I fully understand the question, and I'm justified in being asked it because of the situation we find ourselves in, the position we are in the league. For this football club to be where we are, it's not good enough. It's unacceptable. I've said that now for a number of weeks. I've been very positive about the improvements within it, and there's been many excuses we could have used in recent weeks, but today there's certainly no excuses from me in the first half performance. Slight improvement in the second half, but the damage was already done, and the fact you're asking me the question, I fully understand why you would, but until someone tells me differently, I will be working as hard as I can to rectify this, because I do believe I can change it.
You're not a quitter then?
Definitely not. I'm not going to start feeling sorry for myself at all, and that's the message to the players as well. Like you've just touched on there, this is a group that's going to be where we are moving forward at least till January, and every single player needs to step up, and myself and everybody involved, because collectively where we are isn't good enough, and the only people that can change it is us. And that starts with the players looking at themselves, working hard at the areas in which we need to, and getting back onto that training pitch to try and rectify it as quick as we can.
You heard the fans certainly at half time and at the end of the game, David. What message would you give them tonight? Because some of them are now questioning whether you are the right man to lead the club forward, given I know you've been associated with the club for probably 2 decades now, but they're not happy with what they're seeing, and neither are you, of course. No,
and rightly so. As you just said there, I fully understand the frustrations, their anger, their disappointment, all the words, probably less polite words that they'd be thinking at the moment, and understandably so. As I've said many times, I'm hurting just as much or more than anybody else because of the work we're putting into it. But I also understand the expectations and demands here, and if we can't live up to that, we've got a problem. But at the same time, we can't feel sorry for ourselves. We need to keep working harder. We need to stick together. And the message to the fans is apology for the first half performance, but I do believe we will turn this round. And I think the second half was better. We finished the game better. But there's a lot of hard work still to be done, that's for sure.
And you're the man to turn that around?
I fully believe that, yes.
David Gray there, so Hibs bottom of the table, just 1 league win from their opening 12 matches. As for St Mirren, they are into the top 6. Let's now hear from the Saints boss, Stephen Robinson. He was also chatting with Brian.
Stephen, you don't do it easy, do you? But that was a fantastic 3 points to get. I'm sure that you feel that at the end of what was 90 odd minutes of drama.
Yeah, it was. I thought first half we were absolutely terrific. You know, we learnt our lesson from Hearts. We went and we set off too much, but we were really aggressive with our press. Some of our football in the first half was excellent. We hit the crossbar to make it 3-0 when the game's over, but we didn't finish it off. And then, you know, we had to show real character and defend for our lives. And we were quietly confident the goal would be disallowed because we seen the replay that he was right in front of the goalkeeper. But you never know. So thankfully we had a little bit of luck on our side for the first time in a long time. And I thought we thoroughly deserved our victory.
There's been a lot of finger pointing at your players over the performances recently, but they certainly answered any criticism today, did they not? They fought for everything today.
I think the last 4 games have been excellent. You know, a lot of the stuff in that in between after we were knocked out of Europe was dictated to by player availability, systems that we had to play because of numbers, and even now we're down to 3 fit centre halves. So it's been a challenge. It's certainly been a really difficult 8-week management period, and things they don't teach on your pro licence, I can assure you. But we're coming out the other side now. We're Conor McMenamin, Greg Kilty come back to full fitness. To a man, the energy, the attitude and the application to get through this period and to be sitting where we're sitting is testament to everybody at the football club.
Yeah, you're in the top 6 now going into this international break. Do you welcome the break now to just try and breathe a little bit ahead of this really, really hectic Christmas schedule? Yeah, it is. It's a real tough run in now with no break at Christmas anymore. So it's important we give the players the rest they need. As I say, we are down to really low numbers, especially defensively due to circumstances, and it's difficult to bring anybody in at this stage. So you know we have to go with what we have unless something becomes available that we think can enhance the squad for a short period of time. But look, with the players I've got here and the energy levels for sometimes when we don't play quite so well as we can,
there's never a doubt about attitude and application and the energy and the fight. And if I was a St Mirren fan to watch that, I'd be so proud.
And finally, Stephen, we had a chat before the game about the brutality of football management. There's a low. You beat David Gray today, and he said, Stephen, do you feel for him at the moment because of all the pressure that's on such a young manager going into this huge job here?
Yeah, I think Hibs have got a fantastic team. They've got some really, really good players. David's very new to the job, so every manager needs time. You see the success in football, whether it's England or Scotland or abroad, longevity gives you that chance. And as I said before the game, I admire anybody that's, it's easy to sit and criticise. I admire anybody. I admire David. He's a very good coach, and he'll get through this period, hopefully.
Very respectful words, you'd have to say, from Stephen Robinson, but talking about Hibs as a very good team and very good players, I think that's very much up for debate at the moment, certainly given that really poor performance from them today. So St Mirren, very good from them, into the top 6. The Dons are top of the table as things stand. Willie Miller, I know the teams are just about coming out there for the second half. We know the manager, Jimmy Clean, always very positive with his changes. What are you expecting?
Well, I was expecting Morris, but I don't see him, so I don't think that change has been made. I don't think there is going to be a change at half-time. Not too sure that Keskinen has been in form. He's had opportunities to take full-backs on. He hasn't, Larkesh in particular, and he hasn't taken the opportunity. But listen, Aberdeen, even when they haven't been at the best, they've found a way to win games, and I'm sure that's what we'll be hoping for. Jimmy Tillino will be hoping for this evening. It's been a really even game, Kenny. It's been good to watch, so we're enjoying it, and we hope to get more in the second half.
Let's hope so. There was a 5:30 kick-off in the English Premier League. Brighton 0, Manchester City 1. Erling Haaland with that first half goal there. Let's hope for goals at Pittodrie. Let's get back to our team there. It's Aberdeen against Dundee with Willie Miller, Billy Dodds and Liam McLeod.
Aberdeen are unbeaten in their last 19 league matches. The club record is 30. Which was set between March and December 1980. It will come as no surprise to Willie Miller that the run was ended by Greenock Morton, who always seemed to have their number back in those days, the bogey team as they were to Aberdeen. To go some still to threaten that record as Dundee kick off the second half in the navy blue and white, Aberdeen in the red and white, the Dons shooting towards the beach end in the second half. Dundee left to right as we watch the back of the main stand on the opposite side from where the TV cameras are housed in the south stand, if you know the stadium. As Dundee win it back in the midfield, both teams going with the same 11 at the start of the second half as they did the first. As McKenzie wins it back for Aberdeen and finds Duke, who's going to come charging down this left-hand side. Aberdeen's second half performances have been better this season as Duke's pass to McKenzie on the underlap is cut out and out for an Aberdeen throw-in level with the edge of the D of the Dundee box. McKenzie bowling it back to Shinnie. And Shinnie shifting it infield to Palaversa. To Shinnie again, and back to Malloy. Stepping away from Simon Murray, finds Shinnie. Gavin Malloy got away with a big one right at the end of that first half as his goalkeeper saved Murray's penalty kick. And that's moved out to Rubezic on the right, across halfway he goes. Adewumi for company, Rubezic with the early ball, looking for Duke in behind the defender. McGee wins the header and heads it out for a throw-in. On this near side, should Aberdeen have come flying out the start of second half? Generally, the Rangers game possibly a little bit of an outlier. Rangers were dominant in the opening 20 minutes of the second half of that game, having got their goal just before half-time in that game. Aberdeen going on to win it as Murray wins the free kick off Malloy just to the right of the centre circle. He's giving Gavin Malloy a real test this evening. But the changes haven't come, so the 11 for Aberdeen: Mitov in goal, Devlin, Rubezic, Malloy, McKenzie, Shinnie and Palaversa, Keskinen, Clarkson, Duke and Sockler. For Dundee: McCracken in goal, McGee, Astley, Robertson, Larkesh, Mulligan, Silla, Cameron, Palmer, Holden, Adewumi either side of Murray. It's Mulligan for Dundee, back to Astley. Long ball with the right foot forward down this near side. Malloy's onto it here, Murray's right behind them, and this time it's Murray bringing Malloy to the deck down here. The two redheads going at it this evening.
It's got some experience, Malloy, will it?
A case of collapsible legs there, wasn't it? Didn't see much contact.
Was that Graham Shinnie, wasn't it?
Yeah, referee has fallen for it. No.
Rubezic down the line to Keskinen on that far side. Infield to Palaversa. It's away from a couple of Dundee players, runs into the centre circle. His pass has managed to make its way to Clarkson despite Murray's best efforts. Clarkson down the left-hand side of the Dundee box for Duke. Duke has it, chips it in, and then headed away on the 6-yard line. Breaks back to Shinnie. Shinnie does well, rolls it left-hand side of the area. It's Duke back across, blocked by the sliding McGee. Breaks back to Duke again. Now Clarkson level with the Dundee penalty spot. His cross takes a touch on its way towards the 18-yard line. Palaversa is on to it. He's lost out to Silla and then pulls Silla's jersey back, and that will be a free kick to Dundee. But Palaversa, I think, thought he should have had a free kick before that in or around the Dundee penalty area. It's 0-0 at Pittodrie. Silla winning the free kick.
He wasn't quick enough, Palaversa, especially at that time when you're maybe going to the opposition think you're going to have a shot from 18 yards, and he just takes his time on it and stalls, and they nick it and they're gone, and he ends up having to give away the free kick.
You're not going to get much time in this game, I think. I think you can safely say that, you know, because the swarm round about you. You know that if you're trying to get a little bit of respite and take a touch or two, then invariably you're going to be put under pressure. So I would suggest that you do everything very quickly,
especially 18 yards out.
Mackenzie turning away from Murray, dinks it forward to Sockler. It was Dundee, the last team to beat Aberdeen in the league when they did so in March, as Devlin fires it forward. Can't find Keskinen though. Larkesh is on to it, and Dundee proving to be a tough nut to crack for Aberdeen tonight. As I said, they have a lot of their victories this season have been by just a single goal. Indeed, only 2 league games have been relatively comfortable on the scoreline. And beat Kilmarnock 2-0. They beat St Mirren 3-1. All the other wins have come by just the 1 goal. As Sockler finds Keskinen, couldn't quite get the ball dug out from under his feet, but he does win the throw-in. Level with the edge of the centre circle over on the south stand side for Aberdeen. Devlin's early ball to the edge of the box. Keskinen gets onto a loose touch. Topi Keskinen rolls it left-hand side of the box for Duke. Rolls it to Mackenzie to the byline, and that's going to be a goal kick as well. Really good defending by Ryan Astley, as it looked as though Mackenzie was going to win at least a corner there. Dundee defending deep, but defending well.
Yeah, they did. Ashley, you know, actually coming out to block it, and it comes back off Mackenzie as he's trying to play the cross across the face of the goal. You know, but a lot of intent again down this left-hand side. The left-hand side of the Aberdeen attack has definitely been the more productive. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But nothing coming of it.
Better from Keskinen, though, gets the head up, gets out to him, and Duke just released the pass too early.
Here's Adewumi though for Dundee, rolls it to the left for Murray, taken on by Larkesh. Up against Devlin, level with the penalty spot, goes one way then the other, down towards the byline. Devlin with a good sliding challenge. Not a great touch by Keskinen, it's allowed Cameron to slide in, but he puts it out for an Aberdeen throw-in. Level with their own 18-yard line. It is 0-0 at Pittodrie. We played almost 51.
He stuck with it that time, Nicky Devlin, didn't he, against Larkesh, because Larkesh looked as though he's got a trick or two, you know, and he had twist and turned there, and Devlin had to make sure that he was concentrating, and he did. He concentrated fully, and it was a really good block.
Palaversa through for Keskinen. Duke wants the big switch played to him. Keskinen, he's delayed it. Eventually slips it left of the circle for Clarkson. Looks to thread it through for Sock. That's a poor ball though. Straight to Astley, who sweeps clear for Dundee, who've only picked up 5 points on the road so far this season. As Clarkson gets it in behind the defender. Now Duke has it. McGee has caught a bit here. Duke driving forward. McGee sliding in. Really good defending once more. But again, it's last ditch. This time it is an Aberdeen corner. And he's goalless at Pittodrie though.
Yeah, it's a really great reverse pass, isn't it, from Clarkson. I don't know what McGee's thinking about, but Duke's in behind. Can't allow him to be in behind, but he's got to release it earlier, does he not? It takes too many touches towards the byline, drive it across the face of the goal. You know, it might come off a blue jersey and end up in the back of the net.
In comes the corner, which is headed away on the 6-yard line by Dundee, kept alive by Malloy. Might get back onto it with the head, breaks to Palaversa. What a goal! What a finish! Antti Palaversa fires Aberdeen in front, rifling it home into the left corner of the net past McCracken, who could do nothing about it. It's a fabulous finish from the Croatian, and the Aberdeen supporters celebrate again as they look to go 3 points clear at the top of the top flight tonight. Under the lights, it is Aberdeen 1, Dundee 0.
Yeah, it just falls perfectly for the midfield player, doesn't it? It's Palaversa kind of just gets onto it as the cross comes in. It isn't defended particularly well. A little touch. I think it's from Malloy who gets a little touch and then tries to follow up, and it just falls perfectly for Palaversa, who just gets a head over it. Makes sure that this ball is going towards a goal. He picks his spot absolutely side net from the right-hand side across the face of the goal into the far side net, and giving McCracken no chance whatsoever.
All before it was scrappy, wasn't it? But the finish wasn't. And it's Murray and I think it's Palmer Holden who go for the ball back in, and they clash. The ball just breaks to Palaversa. He's not thinking about it twice, just absolutely rifles it home.
It's a classy finish, isn't it, from Palaversa? He scored that late winner against Hearts here a few weekends ago, just before the last international break, and Aberdeen make the breakthrough. The one thing I would say is that Dundee know their way to goal themselves. Only the top two have scored more than them this season, and they've got plenty of time to mount a recovery, but it is Aberdeen who at the front and have something to build on as Rubezic goes long looking for Clarkson. McGee is underneath it, and it kind of all came from Jordan McGee losing Duke there. It was a great recovery by McGee, conceded the corner, but all the issues for Dundee there came from that very phase in play. He comes back to Mitov.
It was a Clarkson pass as well, Liam. He does a little reverse pass, and McGee's caught again ball watching when he doesn't know where Duke is, and Duke's in behind him. Duke doesn't make a very good job of it. He goes to the byline.
I'm with you, Willie.
He should drive it across the face, but from the resulting corner, Aberdeen get the breakthrough.
I don't think McGee should have had the recovery, and that's what gives away the corner, and then they don't deal with it, Dundee, and it's another poor goal to lose from them, because they've been excellent in the game. But you can see why they've leaked goals this season, Liam.
Yeah, it's a real Achilles heel, the lack of clean sheets. John McCracken in goal tonight. He's only got one of them this season as Duke goes at McGee again, driving down the left-hand side, moving to the left of the box now. Duke goes into the area, now goes to the byline, pulls it back again and off the defender Astley and behind for the corner. Could so easily have gone the other side of the post and into the net. It's Aberdeen 1, Dundee 0.
I don't know how he does that, Willie, but he's like a defender at the front post, and he's smacked it across Duke, and he's gone to clear it, but it's gone behind him, and it's just missed the post. I mean, Duke gets the byline, cuts it back, he goes to clear it with the left boot, and somehow it goes behind him and nearly goes in.
He doesn't know much about it, does he? Ashley does. He sticks out his left foot there. It could easily ended up in the back of the net.
In comes the corner from Clarkson. Oh, and I think it's bounced off the goal frame there. It's come off the far post and away to safety.
It's Duke, isn't it? I think Duke gets his head on it. It's driven across the face of the goal. Duke makes a great run, meets it with the forehead, and it does. It comes off. Is it junction of crossbar and post?
Yeah, it's really unlucky. It's a really you kind of backward flick header towards goal, which ricocheted off McCracken's bar. It was one of those. All the pace was on the corner. He didn't have to generate it himself. Just get it on target. Sadly for him, it wasn't, and it remains 1-0 to Aberdeen. But this has been a good spell from the Dons as Keskinen goes after it. He's in behind on the far side. He rifles home. Topi Keskinen at the right angle of the 6-yard box makes absolutely no mistake. The Finn hammering it home. It's high fives amongst the Aberdeen coaching staff again. And what had been a pretty challenging evening for Jimmy Tillane and his players, suddenly they've got their foot down on the accelerator. And it's Keskinen who scored at Dens against the same opposition, scoring his 4th of the season, and it's Aberdeen 2, Dundee 0, and this game's getting away from the D right now.
It's another mistake though from Clark Robertson from a Dundee point of view, but I'm telling you, Aberdeen have been brutally ruthless when they've got in twice. Whether it's Palaversa falling for them, Willie, when he just smashes it home, that one's the same. Once the mistake's been made, he's in, Keskinen. He's not at the best of games, but my word, he absolutely lashes that home, and the goalkeeper has no chance, and from nowhere Aberdeen are 2-0 up, and they've been ruthless.
Yeah, it's a pace of it, isn't it? It's a strength of the strike that beats McCracken. It goes through his leg, comes off the inside of his leg and ends up in the back of the net. But he doesn't know where that ball's going. He can't see it, he can't react to it, he can't get a block on it. It's just the absolute brutalness of the pace when Keskinen comes in off the touchline and strikes it with his left foot. It's a great strike, full of everything that's going to make it difficult for the goalkeeper.
Two really good finishes of Aberdeen, 2 goals ahead, and absolutely heart-wrenching for Dundee. Put so much into the game, but Aberdeen have been, again, in the second half of matches, with the exception of that Rangers game, which they ended up scoring in the second half and winning, they've been much better after the break. It seems to take them 45 minutes to get the engine running. 19,274 inside Pittodrie tonight. Incidentally, that is 4 19,000 plus attendances in succession here.
Well, it gives you something to inspire the team at half time, isn't it, when you've had that penalty against you and Mitov's brought off a fabulous save, and then at half time you can get the energy back up and you can get the drive and the determination. They've started really well though, Aberdeen. They've dominated the early proceedings. I thought that Jimmy Taylor might have made a change at half time. He was absolutely 100% correct not to, and it's worked out perfectly well with the 2-0 scoreline.
There's Duke, who's been good since the interval. Shinnie finds Palaversa, who scored the first, and he switches it out to Rubezic on the right, approaching the hour mark. Aberdeen 2-0 up. Rubezic finds Keskinen, rolls it towards Devlin, should be dealt with by Robertson. It comes off Robertson last and behind for an Aberdeen corner. They've got their foot in the Dundee throat here.
Yeah, that's what it does to you when you lose goals like that. You can see Dundee have sunk a little bit. Yeah, Aberdeen have started brightly, but I'm telling you, Tony Dock will be angry with the 2 goals given away because it's been scrappy from them, but Aberdeen's punished them, and Dundee look as if they're ready to go on the floor, and Aberdeen want more blood.
Clarkson with the corner. It's a low one to Keskinen. Back to Clarkson, who fires it across, and it's blocked and cleared. And then Shinnie straight off the training ground there. It was a good move, actually. Clarkson did well to fire it across. Dundee had bodies in the way, though. And now it's Palaversa picking up and mopping up and going back to his goalkeeper.
I think it was just about bounce back today, like Motherwell did earlier when I said when they lost the semi-final to Rangers. Just win the game by any manner of means. Much better second half, but I'm not saying they're going to win it. Dundee are still got a long way to go this half. It's going to take a real turnaround to turn this one round for Dundee, but Aberdeen just find a way, don't they?
Duke holding off his man there, and as you can hear in the background, he was successful in retaining possession for the home team. Now it's Clarkson to Palaversa. It's like a completely different football match, this.
Yeah, I mean, Duke's been prominent throughout, hasn't he? First half he's looked a threat, second half he definitely started really on fire, and again linking it really well.
Duke finds Shinnie, fires it across low into the Dundee box again. It's cleared by Astley on the 6-yard line. Dundee, don't know what day of the week it is at the moment. They knew it was Saturday right up until the half-time whistle, right until the second half started. And Aberdeen are knocking the stuffing out of them at the moment, and they'll want another goal to try and put this game to bed during this period of dominance.
Yeah, they looked assured first half, especially defensively. Now they look shaky. Even that clearance from Ashley, I mean, it was like, yeah, a nervous clearance, but they're not as assured. Need a goal.
Good challenge by McGee on Duke, but sliding in is Palaversa to try and win it back. McGee, though, picks up the loose ball on the near side. Shinnie closing it down, and that stayed in play as it bounced and bobbled down the left-hand touchline, and Duke's onto it, taking on Astley into the box, looking for the break of the ball. The big defender does enough, though, and with McCracken coming to try and claim, he decides to take no chances and fires it out into the main stand. We cannot forget Mitov saving Murray's penalty just before half-time. What a huge moment that's turned out to be. Even though there's 28 minutes of the 90 to play and Dundee still have time, the fact Aberdeen are 2-0 up and haven't lost here since February, as a misunderstanding between Shinnie and McKenzie leads to a Dundee goal kick. That was just massive.
Yeah, it does. It gives you that belief, it gives you that energy, it gives you something at half-time to cling on to as well, because it was an even first half. You can't say that Aberdeen were the outstanding team. I think probably, as Dodgy said, that Dundee edged it, but you know, they come out with a lot of fire, a lot of determination, a lot of energy in the centre. I think it's on the back of that penalty save, isn't it? That gives that dressing room a lift, and they've managed to turn that lift into something special with the 2 strikes.
Mulligan just turning it back onto the halfway line, where Ashley slides it forward to Cameron, looking to do likewise here. There's an opportunity in behind Malloy. Meathoff with a really good save to deny Palmer Holden. Malloy was all over the place again. It's pulled back there, Tadewumi. His shot's blocked by Devlin as it came in from the left from Larkesh. It stays Aberdeen 2, Dundee 0. But there's a warning for the home team. The Dundee aren't out of this yet.
Not done just yet. That's the way they're looking at it. Good ball down the right-hand side to Holden. Once he's in there, hits the strike, and I thought it slithered under Meathoff, but somehow he gets a palm on it, goes into the ground and misses the far post.
Offside flag goes up against Palmer Holden. Yeah, talking to Tony Docherty before the game, and in reference to that match at Dens at the end of September, he was talking about the fact they didn't work the Aberdeen goalkeeper enough. He did make one incredible save in that game, though. I think it was Scott Tiffany who was denied with a second half save. But that was the problem. And speaking of Scott Tiffany, he is going to come on, and so too is Ethan Ingram. Double change. Adewumi, who had a really bright opening half hour to the game, is coming off, and Tiffany will replace him. So there's fresh legs, and we know what Scott Tiffany can do. Jordan McGee's first start in a month and a half is over, and Ingram replaces him as we approach 64 minutes. Aberdeen 2, Dundee 0. Next goal's massive in the game. Dundee need to get it.
Oh, huge, yeah. I mean, if Aberdeen do manage to get it, then I would suggest that the game would be over. You know, Dundee having a really massive comeback last week, but if you're 3-0 down second half, that's asking a lot. But if they get one back, they've still got that energy, and Tony Dock going and bringing on some fresh legs as well, because they've looked a little bit subdued in the second half.
Duke goes down, fouled by Silla just inside the Aberdeen half.
It reminds me a wee bit of what game was it? In fact, it was Aberdeen Rangers here when Butland saved the penalty and gave Rangers a lift.
Yeah.
And that's what it's kind of done to Aberdeen when they've gone on to really take control of this game. You laughing at my Ayrshire dialect there, Liam? Is that?
Yeah, it slipped in there, but that's okay.
You can't hide it. Never lose a root, son.
Certainly not. Here's Malloy for Aberdeen out to Shinnie on this near side. Aberdeen looking to record a 14th home win in succession and make it 11 out of 11 at Pittodrie this season. 10 in a row in the league it would be. As Duke comes forward up to halfway, it's cut out and out for a throw-in, which Shinnie is going to leave to McKenzie. Jimmy Telleen down there, he's with his usual bottle of water in his hand as he watches the game. Tony Docherty to his right with his arms folded. He'll be furious with the goals they've conceded, as well taken as they were from an Aberdeen perspective defensively. It's been Dundee's problem. They'd be higher up the league if they had been able to keep more of those sloppy goals away. Here is Tiffany picking up on that left. Aberdeen are going to make a change with Shayden Morris coming on. But here's Tiffany dancing into the penalty area, left-hand side, pulls it across, blocked by Malloy, up into the air, flicked away by Rubidzic. And Keskinen trying to get onto it, breaks Sockler's way. He's trying to hoist it into the path there of Keskinen up against Silla, but it's just going to trickle away from him and out for a Dundee throw-in over on the far side. That's Keskinen's last act. He's coming off and will be replaced by Shayden Morris. Looks a little bit frustrated, Keskinen over there, but he's got the goal that has given Aberdeen the cushion going in towards the final quarter of the match. A goal which could take them 3 points, or would potentially take them 3 points clear at the top of the table ahead of Celtic's visit to Kilmarnock tomorrow. And on comes Shayden Morris, and well, if you think Keskinen is fast, Shayden Morris might be even faster than he.
Indeed. And I think, you know, Keskinen, we were talking about him in the first half. I don't think he was doing enough, but he's had a huge impact in the game with his goal, hasn't he? And sometimes you just need that touch of brilliance. And Jimmy Telleen, just everything he does is right. You know, you're thinking, well, Keskinen, you might come off at half-time, but he doesn't take him off at half-time, scores the goal, but he's brought on Morris now, the impact player that we know he is, and what a handful he can be.
Clarkson was fouled by Mulligan. Free kick Aberdeen down on this near side. And this is just on this near side touchline. Just to flag up for BBC Radio Scotland listeners who are waiting for Take the Floor, that will follow the news at 7 on BBC Radio Scotland FM and on Sounds. The football will continue on digital, on medium wave, and on BBC Radio Scotland Extra, and of course at the website bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. The Sports Scene Highlights programme's on at 7:30 on the BBC Scotland channel. As Duke picks up Fitzpalmer, Holden winning it back off, and Duke thinks he was fouled. The ref doesn't agree. Played forward to Tiffany, spins away from Devlin, is at the edge of the Aberdeen box, works it towards Cameron, left-hand side of the area. It's just a little bit too much on it though, as Cameron picks up, reversing it on that left-hand side to Larkesh. He puts it across, and Rubezic puts it behind. Omitov would have claimed pretty comfortably, but again, you could see Rubezic, he was thinking about leaving it, but then that little doubt saw him put it behind for the corner.
If you're not sure, give the corner away. That's the only decision that you can make. But good play again down the left-hand side, and Tiffany, making a difference since coming on.
Yeah, good player, really lively player, Scott Tiffany. And the corner is whipped in by Cameron. Mitov doesn't get much onto it, but claims as it bounces off Robertson, and he's bowled it to Clarkson. Aberdeen looking to hit Dundee on the counter-attack here. Clarkson down the left, pokes it to Palaversa, who goes down. No foul though by Ingram, says the referee, and Dundee have it back with Mulligan and now Astley. It's been a good just few minutes for Dundee. They've settled back into the game after the storm from the start of the second half. They find themselves 2 down, but very, very recent memories of coming back from that scoreline to win as they did against Kilmarnock last week. Ingram has it level with the Aberdeen penalty spot on the main stand side, rolls it back to Astley, who then fires it into the centre circle for Clark Robertson. He in turn shifted out to that left-hand side for Larkesh. Infield to Tiffany. Tiffany sweeps it forward looking for Cameron. Straight to Rubezic though. He's got himself caught in a little bit of a problem area over there, and eventually it goes out for a Dundee throw-in level with the Aberdeen 6-yard line. Ball back to Tiffany, looks up at the box, bends the cross in, Murray heads in, Dundee back into it. Simon Murray nods home 6 yards out into the far corner, and there's another sensational Dundee comeback on the horizon here. They've reduced the arrears to 1. It's Aberdeen 2, Dundee 1, still 20 to play.
A goal in real quality to get them back in it. Aberdeen switch off for the throw, and Tiffany just takes it, curls in an absolutely delightful ball, saying to Simon Murray, go and attack that son, and he gets a run, he gets a jump, he gets a glance, and it nestles into the bottom corner, and Dundee right back in it.
Yeah, it's again McKenzie too, isn't it? McKenzie, he's caught flat-footed as Simon Murray, gets a run on him, and it's just a glancing header, great cross in from the right-hand side, fantastic glancing header, nestles into the back of the net.
Aberdeen making a double change there. Clarkson and Sockler have come off. Bizawan and Nisbet have come on. Nisbet just back from injury. And now Aberdeen find themselves embroiled in a battle again as it shifted to Rubezic. And it's a low ball forward up towards halfway. Nisbet on the spin right of the centre circle. That choice of listening I mentioned earlier on BBC Radio Scotland coming up now at 7 o'clock as Aberdeen come through with Bizawan, who scores! The 2-goal lead restored. Take the Floor on FM after the BBC Radio Scotland news at 7. Stay with us on digital and on BBC Radio Scotland Extra for the football. With Vicente Bizawan picking up left-hand side of the penalty spot and calmly side foots it home into the bottom left corner, and Dundee's hopes of a comeback, having just scored themselves, might have gone up in smoke with that. Really good build-up play, Nisbet involved, Bizawan with the finish, and it's Aberdeen 3, Dundee 1.
Just dreadful defending. It's a magnificent play from Aberdeen right enough, and it is. It's Nisbet that he takes it really quickly, but the Dundee defence all over the place. Bizawan just on the pitch. It's just these early touches. He's so calm and cool. Takes it down. Great first touch and a little kind of a side foot into the back of the net. And just when you think Dundee are back in this game, they're hit with that sucker punch. They switch off at the back. Nisbet takes it quickly. The two substitutes combining
Tony Dockett will be... I mean, we said leaking goals, right? And they've played well tonight and they've lost 3 goals. And it's been the story of their season. Brilliant from Nisbet, quick thinking, quick free kick, Bezawin. This Jimmy Talleen thing, I don't know what it is, makes, as you say, Willie, the 2 subs on the park, minutes. One takes a free kick, the other one sticks in the net, and suddenly it's 3-1. This guy can do no wrong.
Poor listeners who have just tuned into the news at 7. Talk about timing. Right bang on the splitting of the frequencies. Bezawin scores and it all happens at the same time. Well, there you go. 73 minutes played. Aberdeen 3, Dundee 1. And those Dundee supporters over there who are dreaming wild dreams again, Willie Miller, of a spectacular comeback as it was last week. That's just been completely doused by Bezawin.
It's incredible how disappointed these Dundee supporters will be, Tony Dock will be. And it's all about lack of concentration.
That's Astley on that occasion, he just kind of jogging back and get done quick.
You know, when you score, excuse me, when you score a goal like that, that's when you need your defenders to be at the top of their concentration game to make sure that you don't throw it away. And that's exactly what Dundee has done. They've thrown that lifeline that they got with the Simon Murray goal. They've just chucked it away. Listen, take nothing away with Nesbitt's quick thinking and Bezwin's finish as well, but the Dundee defence just switched off completely.
Marquez slides in on Morris, concedes the corner though. And Aberdeen looking for the 4th goal that would end this game as a contest, you feel. Dundee are back to where they started after that Bezawin goal. And Vinny Bezawin, one of these players who's mounting a personal comeback at the club. It looked like he was in Siberia. Wasn't quite in Siberia, he was on loan in the Netherlands in his homeland, but didn't look as though he had a future here. And he scores Aberdeen's 3rd as they look for the 4th here from the corner over on the right-hand side. Palaversa over it, outswinger with the right foot. In it comes, Dundee head clear through Robertson. And as far as Shinnie. Shinnie under pressure from Tiffany. Rolls it out to Palaversa. Steps away from Tiffany. Rolls it to the edge of the box for Rubezic. Pokes it back the way he was in an area he didn't want to be in, Slobodan Rubezic there. And he's managed to poke it back to Shinnie on the right. It's passed forward to Cameron. Or it's cut out by Cameron. And Palaversa picks up the scraps and rolls it back to Rubezic.
Yeah, Bezawin you're touching on, I mean, another Talleen magical touch, really, isn't it? Let's be honest. I tell you what, he's either the top manager or he's just having a wee bit of luck just now, I don't know. But every decision he makes.
Well, I think every decision he doesn't make as well, because he could have easily taken Keskinen off at half-time and put Morris on. He doesn't, he keeps him on just to score the goal.
In the past. He's made quick substitutions. Tonight he held off and it's paid dividends.
Good play by Nisbet, holding it off at the halfway line, back into his own half for Palaversa, who sweeps it out to the right for Morris. Infield to Devlin, back out wide right for Morris, taking on Larkesh, attacking the right-hand side of the box. A brilliant run by Morris into the byline, pulls it back towards Nisbet, but it is blocked in behind for an Aberdeen corner.
You would not, Willie, you would have talked about, I don't have to tell you that, but would you like to play against him? Not play against him, but be left 1-1 with Shane Morris?
No, I'll tell you what I wouldn't do though, is show him the byline. Put him inside. Get a defender, get somebody else back. You've got to double up against him because he's lightning.
Yes, treble up.
Aberdeen corner right in front of the Dundee supporters who have been stunned by that 3rd goal. Indeed, Aberdeen's second half performance, generally speaking. 14 to play. 3-1 Aberdeen. Palaversa with another corner, outswinger in towards Rubezic, headed away by Palmer Holden. Murray gets it half away, but it breaks to Shinnie. Thought about the shot there and then saw Devlin in loads of space, but his pass to him's cut out, and now it's Josh Mulligan stretching his leg as across halfway. Rolls it to the left there, Tiffany. Murray's waiting in the middle. Tiffany chops back onto his right side, looks up, pulls it in. Oh, it's not far away. Come off an Aberdeen head last, and behind for a Dundee corner.
Was it Devlin? Look, the hands were on the knees, but anyway, you're right, Liam, it was an Aberdeen head that come off. The counter-attack, got it to Tiffany, very like the goal, just turns inside and bends in the ball, hits off an Aberdeen head, and I must have just missed the post by half a yard.
I think it's big Rubezic, is it, that comes to the near post? Not 100% sure, but it's definitely a red jersey that gets a head on it, and it just slides by that near post. Good counter though, good counter from Dundee. Still life in this visiting side.
And you would get goals though.
Yeah, they've all come in the second half, all 4 of them. Larkesh is down, incidentally, inside his own half, so the corner can't be taken until they deal with Larkesh. And Dundee's long wait for a victory. Pataudry looks as though it's going to go on. It's been a long time, 20 years since it last happened. Aberdeen 16 points better off than they were after 10 games last season. They're going to pick up another 3 here by the look of it. And going back into last season, they've won 13 of their last 15 Premiership games, as they try and get themselves to the top of the table tonight. It's looking good for them. Incredibly, well, before tonight, as Dundee make the change, Larkesh is coming off and he's going to be replaced by Kumiteo. It took Aberdeen until the 16th of March last season to get to the 28-point mark. It took them till match day 34 to win 9 league games last season. This is their 11th. This is potentially going to be their 10th victory.
It's an incredible turnaround. You know, I think towards the tail end of last season, you know, under Peter Leven, they showed some good form, and then Jimmy Tillane coming in a little bit late as well, but he's turned it round. It's been magnificent. That's all you can say about the start of the season.
Cameron with the corner for Dundee's. Play gets underway again. It's flicked clear though. Approaching 79 minutes. 3-1 to Aberdeen, who now have a player down inside their own box. I think it might be Bazoun, who is down on the penalty spot. He seems to be in some discomfort. He's pointing to just above his right eye. And he's got back to his feet. It's going to be okay. And it was a huge match for Aberdeen to win. They have got 3 away fixtures in a row coming up after the international break. They go to St Mirren, they go to Hibs, and they go to Hearts. And they won in their last visit to Easter Road, but generally they don't have a good record at all 3 of those places. Edinburgh club's having problems just now, but Aberdeen's record at Tynecastle is as bad as Hearts' record is here. And once those 3 games are out of the way, the away ones, they're at home to Celtic. As Duke slides in on Ingram on this near side, and that's a throw into Dundee, which Ingram takes quickly, bowling it to Murray. Sliding in is Rubizic, and out for a Dundee throw-in level with the Aberdeen penalty spot on this near side.
Yeah, but you don't mind that when you're playing well, Liam, to be perfectly honest. You know, tough games, tough away games, and then Celtic at home. You know, the confidence is high, the energy's there. Everything that Jimmy Tillane does seem to turn to gold dust. So, you know, when you're on that kind of a run, then I think it's just a case of bring it on.
Long throw into the Aberdeen box by Ingram is headed away by Malloy. Back to Astley. It's not the worst ball by Astley. It just flicks off the head of Kumiteo. It's going to drop out to Tiffany wide on that left-hand side, taking on Morris. He's got away from him as well. In comes Tiffany's cross. He overhits it, and it sails behind the reverse side of the goal frame for a goal kick. But in the final 10 of 90, Aberdeen 3, Dundee 1.
He does really well, Tiffany, there, doesn't he? I mean, it's great close control. Takes on Morris. He goes by him quite easily. And then he just needs to calm down a little bit, you know, take just a moment to have a look and perhaps decide where his teammates are. But he just blasts it way high, you know, way too high. If you're going to blast it across your face, keep it low.
Dundee's next games after the break, they're at home to Hibs before a trip to Kilmarnock, then at home to Motherwell and away to Hearts. The next set of fixtures. It's going to be a free kick to Aberdeen on this near side. It's all petering out for Dundee now though. Remember at 0-0, Mitov saving Murray's penalty just before half time. Tony Docherty's going to receive a yellow card here, and Stuart Taylor's having a go at the referee as well. Probably ill-advisable, and there's the yellow card for Tony Docherty. He was assistant manager here for 8 years, and he said too much. David Dickinson, the referee, he's booked, and Aberdeen have a free kick down on this near side. He's clearly frustrated. You can understand why, given the fact that this could be a very different game had Simon Murray converted from the spot in the first half.
Yeah, and Dundee had to keep up their performance levels in the second half, and they couldn't though. They didn't start the half well. Aberdeen got the goals, but it was mistakes. He's frustrated at his own team.
Malloy heading away just as Murray was trying to get in behind. And it's launched away by Aberdeen. Palmer Holdham's there too. Morris battling for it, drops onto the head of Silla on the far side. It's bounced off a hand there, I think, and it will be a free kick to Dundee right on the halfway line. Vinny Bezowen, by the way, was on the pitch for 42 seconds when he rolled home.
I'm laughing because, you know, whenever Jimmy Talleen makes a change or makes a decision, it just works perfectly, doesn't it?
Yeah, but they're getting quicker every week. That's the thing.
Yeah. In fact, that was a bit long, wasn't it?
Card coming here.
40 seconds to have an impact.
Palaversa. Yeah, 42 seconds. And this bit came on at the same time as him, and he's assisted him. So, yellow card there for a reckless challenge by Andy Palaversa over on the far side. Leads to a Dundee free kick, which is about level with the edge of the centre circle over on the south stand side. The match is running away from Dundee here. 83 on the clock. Aberdeen are going to bring Jack Milne on, by the looks of things, at the next break in play after this one. Lyle Cameron, a long high ball into the Aberdeen box, headed away by Rubidzic. Picked up by Duke, rolls it forward to Bezowen. Bezowen crossing halfway, looks for an option ahead. Long one looking for Morris, in behind Cameron, who does just enough, but it breaks Nisbet's way at the edge of the box. He shoots and he brings a brilliant save out of John McCracken, who threw himself to his left. Nisbet from outside the area, and it will go behind for an Aberdeen corner. It stays Aberdeen 3, Dundee 1 on 84.
Yeah, he's hungry for that one, isn't he? I thought Cameron did really well. Looked as though it was going to drop over the top of his head from the Bezowen crossfield pass, but it fell to Nisbet. Gets on to the left foot, sees the spot that he wants to hit. He's accurate enough. It's a really good save from McCracken.
Two changes for Aberdeen then. Ambrose is going to replace Duke. I think this is quite a good touch by the manager here, Willie. He's taking Nicky Devlin off and replacing him with Jack Milne. I just wonder if that's to allow the whole crowd to pay him a little tribute. He's the player of the month. He's of course away back with the Scotland squad.
Yeah, it could be. He's had a lot of games though as well, so maybe a combination of both. Duke as well has been impressive, so you know, a little bit of a rest. Plus, he's, you know, you're 3-1 up, you're at home. You can, you know, give players an opportunity. Jack Milne hasn't had too many chances, you know, to get on the field, so it's good to see him. And Peter Ambrose, you know, it might take less than 40 seconds to score.
Yeah, Palaversa with the corner. Malloy couldn't quite get there. Dundee flick clear. Bezowen's going for the spectacular from outside the box, but he knocks it high over the bar, and it stays Aberdeen 3, Dundee 1 on 85 minutes. I noticed that Matt O'Reilly's potentially just scored a late winner for Brighton against Manchester City down south in the later kick-off there. Former Celtic player, and it's a McCracken goal kick. It's a good save. He's made a few decent saves tonight, John McCracken. A couple from Duke in the first half, that one from Nisbet, as Palaversa wins it for Mackenzie, but he knocks it into touch. Throw in Dundee on this near side, and Antti Palaversa's gone down. Jimmy Tilleen's made his final change, and he's just trying to stretch out the cramp there. How do you think Palaversa's done tonight in the absence of Sivert Nielsen, Willie?
Yeah, different type of player. You know, he's shown a lot of energy, fantastic goal, an influence in the midfield. He slotted in there really well with Graham Shinney. So, you know, although you've got Nielsen out, I don't think it's made a huge difference. I think the midfield has been particularly good.
Shinney was caught. Aberdeen have an advantage. The long ball has evaded everyone in red. Ball comes right through to McCracken.
Of course, the minute I said he's done well, then it's just a dreadful pass forward, isn't it?
You're no Jimmy Talleen, that's for sure.
No, I'm not. No, definitely not.
I can imagine if I don't know how would have carried on commentary if Ambrose had come on and he'd scored for that corner. I mean, you wouldn't put it past. The way it's, the decision making percentage wise is nothing short of incredible.
And Bezowen down the left, overlapping. Mackenzie's onto it, fires it into the box again, where it's cleared by Robertson. Bezowen with a little header back into the area, but Dundee should be able to sort this out, and eventually Palmer Holding goes back to his keeper, and McCracken fires it high and forward into the Aberdeen half. Rubidzic with the header to the right for Jack Milne, going across the halfway line, rolls it down the right hand touchline for Morris. Morris faced by Tiffany. Tiffany puts the challenge in, goes out for an Aberdeen throw-in, level with the Dundee penalty spot on the far side. I think Aberdeen just trying to ice the cake here. Dundee not threatening anymore. You probably know the horse has bolted. And Dundee supporters have come up here in good numbers over on the far side. Another sellout crowd at Pittodrie. It's a poor touch from Ambrose, but Shinnie picks up the loose ball, finds Palaversa. Now it's at the feet of Morris, driving towards the edge of the box. Squares it to Nisbet, takes a touch and fires it with real menace over the crossbar, but he's got loads behind that. Kevin Nisbet is desperate to put those few weeks out injured behind him and get back on the score sheet. He's got 3 Aberdeen goals already. It's another effort from outside the box. We're more accustomed to seeing Kevin Nisbet scoring from inside.
Yeah, but he's hungry for a goal, isn't he? And he's got Ambrose up there as well, so he's playing a little bit deeper, Ambrose being the main focal point. Listen, you know, when you're 3-1 up and it's almost heading towards 90 minutes and you're a goal scorer, you get an eye on that goal, you get an opportunity, you're going to take it. You're not, Dodgy?
Absolutely.
Free kick to Dundee. We're about to go into the final 90 seconds of the 90 minutes. And Dons with that 2-goal cushion, which they've had for most of the second half, even with Simon Murray bringing Dundee back into it. At one point, Milne heading it away. Morris chasing after it. Even on the far side, Mateo just rolling it back to Robertson, who passes it forward to Cameron. He squares it to Astley. Ingram's over on the near side touchline. Astley instead squares it to Robertson, who turns it forward to Cameron. Cameron with a long ball out to Ingram. If Dundee are going to get anything out of this, they need to score about now. Final minute of the 90 here. Ingram forward to Tiffany. Back to Silla. Looks up, right foot ball into the box. Diving header away by Rubidic. And out for a throw-in on this near side.
Long throw coming from... Yeah, it's Astley who's coming forward. He's got a fair lengthy throw on him. Malloy dealt with it, the last one, just taking it upon himself to go and attack it. A few bodies there.
In from Astley to the 6-yard box. Ambrose gets his head onto it. Awkward bounce there for Bazown to deal with, but he was being fouled by Mulligan at the same time, so that's going to be a free kick inside their own box. Dundee are going to make a couple of changes here. Former Aberdeen striker Curtis Main is coming on, and Finn Robertson, the midfielder, will come on as well. Off comes Murray, on comes Main, and it will be Mulligan who will come off and will be replaced by Robertson. Aberdeen 3, Dundee 1. We've played the 90 minutes. 7 minutes have been added at the end of the game. Slightly surprised about that. I think and Tony Docherty will be annoyed because he felt there should have been more than 3 minutes added on at the end of the game at Dens.
Oh yeah.
7 tonight it is. And surely Aberdeen have done enough to secure the win. It will put them 3 clear at the top, and Shinnie's been tripped by Robertson, and that's a free kick to the home team over on this near side.
Yeah, it's been another good performance from Aberdeen, particularly second half. I think first half maybe not, but you know, the power, the strength, the desire, the drive, right from the start of that second half, the second 45, and then the changes that the manager makes that you know, work extremely well. And also the fact, I think, that Dundee have missed that penalty just before half-time as well. Gives you a huge lift in that dressing room. You can get the energy from that, can't you? The energy from their error to turn, you know, that energy positive when you go out in the second half. And that's exactly what Aberdeen have done.
Well, it's really good from Aberdeen, there's no doubt, but it's been the story of Dundee's season, hasn't it? Really, there'll be a lot of teams this year, they'll go for it, but they've got to stop leaking poor goals.
Mackenzie whips it clear. Silla gets onto it in the midfield, and Tiffany, good strong challenge by Jack Milne. Morris's touch wasn't great. Silla wins it back with Mateo over on the far side. He moves it back into his own half for Robertson. We'll square it to Astley. It's going to come straight back to Astley here. And he shifts it to the left of the circle for Robertson. We played 2 of the 7 that David Dickinson added on at the end. There's Robertson, they're going to dig it out to Ingram down the right-hand side. Shinnie chasing after it. Ingram galloping down the right-hand side. His cross is deflected there by the sliding Graham Shinnie. Dundee might have got a second chance here though. Tiffany's in the box and fires it high over the bar into the red shed, and it stays Aberdeen 3, Dundee 1.
Still going at it, still showing a good mentality to get forward. You see Ingram in this right-hand side and eventually getting himself forward, finding Tiffany in the box, and he's direct. He drops the shoulder, gets onto his right foot, but hits the shot well over the crossbar, but still trying to create. And as we said, they've played a part in this game. We had a really enjoyable first half because it was 0-0, and then the goals came, but they were poor goals from a Dundee point of view, but Aberdeen were ruthless. So that's been the story of the game, chance taken, and it's really killed Dundee, and I'm sure Tony Docherty will be really upset at the final whistle when he gives his post-match press conference.
It's all the way back through to McCracken, to the edge of his own box. Aberdeen seeing this game out at the moment with minimal fuss. Palmer Holden beaten in the jump by Malloy. And then there's a foul by Bazau, and I think that'll be a free kick. Robertson was brought to the ground. He's complaining, Vicente Bazau, but it looked like a free kick from where we are up the back of the main stand here. Aberdeen have another man down. It's Malloy. Put plenty into the match. He's back to his feet. He's limping though. It will be a Dundee free kick which Lyle Cameron will take. And this is probably the last chance for them to take someone out of the game. If they score here, there's still a few minutes to play. It'll be a nervy end as Cameron gets the free kick into the box, headed away. Silla nods it back forward. Malloy with a good header clear, and then Milne helps out with another header. Ambrose trying to get onto it. He's won it back from Silla. Now it's Palaversa. Rolls it square to Shinnie. Out to this left-hand side for Bazauan. Loads forward. Bazauan gets the ball under control eventually. Is to pass it back down the line to Shinnie though. Shinnie has it, and then he shifts it forward to Ambrose. Lovely little touch away from Ingram. Ambrose driving forward. Holds off the defender. And then 3 Dundee players around him, and eventually he runs out of options. And the D of it back with Silla. They'll roll it to the left there for Kumateo.
It's brilliant from Shinnie though. I mean, the energy he's shown. He just had a tackle a few moments ago going back away, then gets himself forward. Could have just punted it, but didn't. Turn back out, played one, ran a few yards, and then played a lovely little reverse ball in the pitch. Still going at it.
Ingram down the touchline for Dundee on the near side, midway inside the Aberdeen half to Robertson, infield to Cameron. Lovely pirouette from Lyle Cameron. Rolls it to Tiffany's right hand side of the area. He fires it across to face a goal, but it goes behind the reverse side for a goal kick, and stays Aberdeen 3, Dundee 1 with 2 minutes of the stoppage time to play. He's done well since he has come on there, Scott Tiffany, will he?
He has, yeah. He's been a threat. He's been direct. He's flashed a few crosses across the face of the Aberdeen goal. Maybe a couple of them not well directed, too high, too wide. But on that occasion there, he's looking for a leg, isn't he? He's looking for a Dundee leg to just kind of a slide out. Maybe Curtis Main just on, sliding in there to get a touch. If you do get a touch when you're driving it across the face like that, then it's a fair chance that it's going to end up in the back of the net.
Aberdeen with Ambrose. He's managed to shuffle it out to Shayden Morris, driving down the right hand side into the box, tries to pull it back, cut out and behind for the corner. Aberdeen will finish the game with a corner kick here, just about to go into the final minute of the 7 that were added on at the end.
It's no let up though. I mean, you would think Aberdeen would just try and waste time, run down the clock, but they're still going at it to try and get another one. It's incredible, the pace of the game and the chances created. We knew there were going to be goals, and they're still trying to score a few more even this late on.
And Antti Palaversa for the corner over on the far side. Another outswinger with the right. He's pulled it back the edge of the area for Shinnie. He shoots for goal and over the bar by about a yard from Shinnie. Worth the pop though. If they were looking for a goal at this point in time, it would have probably come straight into the penalty area and a normal standard of corner, but it was worth that effort.
It's well worked. It's well worked. Palaversa, and he puts it to Shinnie. Shinnie's just trying to control the strike, isn't he? Just doesn't get over it enough, as Morris showed. Incredible skill and pace.
He's done well down the right hand side. Shayden Morris, Aberdeen looking to finish this off in terrific fashion here. Morris rolls it back to the 18-yard line. Nisbet on the right foot, and it's in! Nisbet scores. It might have taken a touch there as it flashes past McCracken. You can see what it means to these Aberdeen players to
one thing in his mind there, Kevin Nisbet, but it's fantastic play again from Shayden Morris, and he picks out his man too, gets it onto the right foot, takes a little deflection, doesn't it, but it's on target, and McCracken's going to have to make an outstanding save because there's plenty of power and direction in that strike. But as he dives to his right hand side, as McCracken dives, it takes that deflection, goes to the left his side of him and ends up in the back of the net. But no surprise that Nisbet tees that up and drills it towards goal.
Both teams have been so positive. We said that going at it right to the end of the game. We knew Dundee would try and nick one back, but they look as if they'd run out of legs. But Aberdeen, you'd think, just run down the clock. They don't, they just keep going.
And that is the full-time whistle at Pittodrie. Aberdeen's unbeaten start to the Premiership season has survived a quarter of matches. This is their 11th fixture. And apart from the draw at Celtic Park, it is a clean sweep of wins, albeit this is the second time they've played Dundee, yet to face Hibs. And a rearranged game is coming up soon. But what a response it's been from Aberdeen to that toweling they took in the semi-final last Saturday. To withstand plenty Dundee pressure in the first half, they to survive Simon Murray's penalty, which Dimitar Mitov saved. But their second half performance more than earns them this win. Dominated large spells of it. Palaversa opening the scoring on 53, with Keskinen adding a second just 4 minutes later. Simon Murray gave Dundee a bit of hope with 20 to play as he flicked home an excellent Tiffany cross. But late goals from Finney Bizawan and Kevin Nisbet, the two subs. Nisbet set up Bizawan for his one. Nisbet by a couple of nicks off Dundee defenders as he shot from outside the box, deceived McCracken enough to find the net. And Aberdeen go back to the summit of the Premiership ahead of 3 tough-looking away matches, no matter the form of the 3 teams, St Mirren, Hibs and Hearts. Their venues Aberdeen have struggled at, albeit they won on their last trip to Easter Road. For Dundee, it's a result that just sums up their season. How different it could have been had Simon Murray dispatched the penalty as he did against the Dons at Dens at the end of September. Broad smile on the face of Jimmy Tellin down there, and little wonder, because the final score at Pittodrie on this Saturday Night Football live on Sportsound was Aberdeen 4, Dundee 1.
On digital.